All right, Tuesday, May 16th, this is a meeting of the Hanson Board of Health, and it is 4 o'clock on the button, and this meeting is being recorded. So I am going to take some things out of order because we have a packed house. I'll try to get some of you out of here. So let's start with some septic plans. 32 Donna Drive.
Okay, 32 Donna Drive. Is anybody here representing 32 Donna Drive?
Do you need me up here or?
Hey, come up here. So this is looking for local upgrade approval, variance from vertical separation, and also variance of vertical separation when required 4 feet to 3 feet, 3 feet wide. And let's see, I thought there was 2.
No, there's only one.
So this is a standard variance for repair. Any issues that have been correct, we have no issues as far as looking this plan over. It's pretty much a bullet plan, so I have no questions of the engineer at this time. Present something to the board as far as what you've done with the plan?
Yeah, I'll try to be quick with them. I got 3 of them tonight. This is a repair of a failed septic system. So there is high groundwater on the site we're dealing with. So we're looking for the 4 to 3 foot reduction between the bottom of the system and high groundwater to help us with the grading over the system. That's going to lessen any abutter impact from surface water due to the increased mounding. Pretty straightforward, I guess. Any questions in particular from the board? Or it is going to be a pump system.
Bill, can I see the rest of the packet?
Okay.
Could you see the rest of the packet?
No, it's all this
Did you
stuff.
provide a pump curve with this?
I know the rest.
Pass that down, please.
Doesn't look like there's one on the plan. We may have submitted one. I know sometimes you guys ask for it and sometimes you don't.
Yeah, you could submit it, separately in the future, add it to the plan.
Yeah.
It's becoming a thing that's required of the plan,
Okay.
as a pump system.
I think we have started to add it right on the plan recently. I don't know if it's made it onto any of these yet.
No, I don't see it here.
I mean, we can definitely provide it tomorrow or something for you.
Yeah, in addition to the plan. In the future, provide it on the plan itself.
Yeah.
All right. Take a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the plan as proposed for 32 Don Drive.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. All right. I know I'm not going to put.
I know, if you just do it back to her, she'll put it all back together.
All right.
It's never gonna be the way
32?
she had it.
Is this 32?
That's 32.
Can I have the clip, please?
Yeah.
Oh, never mind, God bless it, thank you. So we want to do 106 Sandy?
Which one
We
we
just
want
do all
next?
Collins.
Yeah, I was going right through the.
106 Sandy and
106 Sandy.
Holly Ridge.
Which one?
106 Sandy.
Whichever
Yeah,
one.
it says Collins right there.
Yeah, I got those.
He said there's 3, yeah. Yep.
Thank you.
Can you give, well, on that table, I want everybody to be able to look at that too. Yeah.
It's 106 Sandy Lane. This is basically the same thing. The only thing I had on this plan was the fact that decommissioning the existing systems. I believe there's 2 other systems on this lot.
2 other systems on the lot.
Yeah.
Currently, there's there's a septic tank and a pump chamber in the back of the house,
Back of the house.
which are going to be pumped and filled, more or less abandoned in place. And the existing leaching field is up in the front yard here.
Mhm.
That's going to be abandoned in place. The new system is going to be outside of the limits from that. So we pushed the tanks up to the side just to help us get them out of the 100-foot buffer to the wetlands. So the new tanks will be a little farther from the resources. It is still a pump system. What are we looking for on this one?
Tributary, water, setback from a tributary to a water, supply, 200 to 158.
Yep.
And then for the tank, 200 to 117.
Are we good with that, or do we need me to like reread it?
I'm good.
Or anything?
Oh.
It's kind of a tricky one to read upside down.
I don't have any questions.
Eileen?
No.
No questions? All right. I will.
I'll make a motion to approve the plan as proposed for 106 Sandy Lane.
I'll second. All in favor? Aye. All right, now we have 169 Holly Ridge.
Is it okay then? So, no, Holly Ridge, so. Okay, the variances they're asking for this, you know, right along here. Staying variances. You want to review us why you're asking for these variances?
So we're requesting a 4 to 3 foot reduction between the bottom of the system and the high groundwater. On this site, we have very high groundwater encountered at 32 and 34 inches. So regardless, it's going to be a significantly mounded system. We've proposed retaining walls. So a reduction from the 4 to 3 foot separation is going to help us take a foot out of all that grading. We're also requesting the use of a sieve analysis instead of a perk test due to saturated soil conditions. Again, this is a failed system, so it's an improvement to the site.
This is them review. I have no problem at all to the fact that the particular area and everything that this is located in.
Any questions? All right.
This is,
Gil?
no, this is a standard variance. I mean, it takes place with a lot of these systems.
Motion to approve the plan as proposed for 169 Holly Ridge Drive.
Second. All in favor?
Okay.
Aye.
I think that's all I got for you.
All right.
It's over.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, sure.
Good luck with the rest of it.
Have a good one.
All right.
Anybody else here for anything?
I don't know.
Want to do two from
Do
the
we-
bottom?
Yes, stays in the back.
All right. 145 Beechwood Road?
You have to remember, I'm not allowed to make motions.
No, you're not.
How you doing?
How are you?
So where are we starting? Beechwood? Okay.
He's grabbing one.
Beechwood, yes.
So, this is actually a system that I did 25 years ago. And it is still working, but, my clients, the Maras, who are sitting right here,
Hi.
are tired of going upstairs. So they're putting an in-law addition on the side so they can have a bedroom at the ground level. And in order to do that, we need to increase the flow from 3 bedrooms to 4. So in order to do that, when we originally did this, we got a water table separation reduction variance. So I'm undoing that variance and going to full compliance here. The one thing that Jim pointed out was that when we're gonna take the existing pump chamber and just sort of scooch it over so we get the 10 feet away from the addition. And in that, the invert is not 12 inches above the seasonal high water table. So really the only reason we're here is because there's a local upgrade, because the invert to the existing pump chamber that we're gonna move over is not 12 inches above the seasonal high water. Other than that, we make every other code that there is.
Has the proposed addition, has that already been, calculated out?
That's
Yes,
yes.
they came in before, and I remember having a conversation
Yeah,
with you.
that was when
That
we were gonna try to leave it the way it was.
Yes.
And it really, there
They
was
take
just
away a
there was
bedroom.
just no way of doing
Not
that.
feasible.
So we,
Mhm.
and it was a 25-year-old field, so we're gonna go ahead and replace that.
Do you have provisions if the pump chamber doesn't make it in relocating?
Oh, I am sure that we can make it work, but of course, if something happens where the tank was compromised, we would just replace that tank in the same spot that we're proposing right now.
Looks good to me.
Joe?
All set.
Motion to approve the plan as proposed for 145 Beechwood Road.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Has the floor plan been sent to everyone else, in the building permit?
I think they have a floor plan submitted to the building department, which is, illustrates everything, but I can make sure for it. Yeah.
You want that?
And then do 109 Gorwin, because that's also.
That's the,
Oh, yep,
yes.
I see that one.
The one added.
Okay.
Ryan, I want to thank you for this Gorwin. I know this one kind of came in at the last minute, but my clients are up against a hard deadline. So this is a new system, 109 Gorwin, which is Mr. King, who's not with us anymore. He's already left Hanson and everywhere else. And he is, they are selling to a niece, actually. So we are, right now, the existing system is behind the house. We are proposing to bring it out to the front so we get 100 feet from the wetlands. We actually meet all requirements of Title V except for the fact that we had to do a sieve analysis to get the soils in the first place. Oh, and also, yeah.
Same as the
point,
previous
good point, yes, the 12-inch to the invert variance as well. And that one, technically, there's an approval built into that one where they say, as long as you make it waterproof and you take all of the proper care to make sure that the thing doesn't leak.
Joe?
Looks good to me. It's just a small variance, it's not. I'm all set with it.
All right,
Okay.
okay.
Motion to approve the plan as proposed for 109 Gorwin Drive.
Second?
All in favor?
Thank you.
Aye.
Okay, thank you, bye-bye.
There you go.
Excuse me.
See you later.
Some of these variances are so big.
See, we started there and we're going back.
Yeah.
To the top.
Is anybody at a butter for 991 Monpont? No. I don't know why he's not here.
Do you want to hold off?
Circle back to it.
Yeah, that was on the original one.
Virtual living, yes, absolutely.
Where's the other one?
She looked away like a pro.
Never mind, it's right here, it came under attached. Sorry, I might have messed up the order.
That's all right.
Joe might have messed up the order.
Yeah.
That's all right.
I'm sure it's Gil. I'm sure it is. He does it all the time to me.
Yeah, rearrange.
Okay. Let's approve the minutes from April 25th.
I did not, and I was not in here.
Just want to make sure we approve those before we move on to.
Right. Yes, that's good. Yep.
All right, I'll take a motion to approve the Board of Health minutes from the April 25th, 2023 meeting.
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Marlene, your signature. Oh. Okay. So
What order?
see who's here, and we can try and
She's looking to get her, she's working the,
let's do the body art apprentice application for Michaela Brewer.
that's Michaela.
Hi, welcome back. How's it going?
Good.
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 Good. All right. What do you have?
Hang on, I have it all over here.
Oh, great. Okay.
I have to show it.
That's all signed.
Can you pass that down, please? Thank you.
All right. Alright, so we've got the blood-borne pathogens, CPR, lots of classes. Skin course, yes.
Yeah, there's
You
only
did the
one,
same class
there's
that you
only
did?
one copy.
Similar?
It's similar.
Because the syllabus looks similar.
She told me about hers actually, and it sounded like a better class than the one I took. I was jealous I had her before me.
Okay. Okay.
Do you have everything set up now? Did you set the booths up and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
All the stuff that you told me to get, she ordered in the mail and we have it now. The first aid and the body fluid.
Have you looked at that?
Okay.
Application?
So maybe,
I looked at it, all the emails she sent.
Thursday maybe, something just swinging there. What time do you open up? What time do you open?
11.
11.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Maybe I'll get a hold of you sometime after that.
Sure. We're right over there.
Yeah, that's good. Great.
Right.
Walk over.
Do you, either of you have any questions?
I don't. Were you just missing the classwork when you were here before?
Yeah, the anatomy, physiology,
Yep.
I was just saying like past or just like not applicable, didn't do that, did the skin course instead.
Okay.
Do you have any questions?
No, I'm good.
All right. I will take a motion.
We are, the motion is to approve the application for the, body art apprentice.
Yes.
That was my motion, that wasn't a question, sorry.
Oh, okay.
That was.
I thought it was a question, sorry.
I did phrase it that way.
Okay, I'll second that.
Yeah,
All right.
I just wanted to make sure I got it in right.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right.
Just have to pay the clerk for the application.
You'll have to give me a check, because the payment goes to the Board of Health. Yeah. Money order check, charge card, but there's fees with charge cards. Cash if you want to do cash, whatever. If you want to come in tomorrow.
Yeah, that'd be perfect. Thank you.
Great.
Thank you
Thanks,
so much,
Michaela.
you guys.
Good luck.
I appreciate
Good luck.
your
Thank
time.
Sure.
We'll talk to you.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Let's see. Shirley. Hi, Shirley.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
No. I got this one. So.
This is yours. Why am I checking it off on yours? Why did you give me that?
Because he wants to know what we've done.
I'm a
And you're
control
doing it.
freak. I'm a control freak.
My side of the line here.
Doing something.
Checking everybody.
You won't know where you are, but he will.
I think the other monthly reports are in there. They look like this. They're in here.
Oh, right.
And then this is her application for right in the very back
Way back underneath.
Right there. Yep. And then this is for April that she just gave me.
Okay.
Can you pull them out of here?
So, excellent. So one of the questions when this came before us a couple meetings ago was the absence of a complete record of your work. So your work, that's why we pushed up.
Oh, that's fine. It started with COVID.
Yeah.
When I couldn't get in here.
We're all still playing catch up.
Yeah.
Teresa, there was another question that came up, and she's named. What was the question that came up on the appointments from today, from Lynn?
Oh,
Was it whether
slaughter, a slaughter inspection? I had never heard of it either. Okay. I had never heard of it either.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean,
we'll reply to that.
Bridgewater, East Bridgewater, right?
if we had a slaughterhouse, that would have to be inspected.
Right.
Yeah.
Would that be under your purview?
I don't think so. I think that, I'm not sure because we've never had a slaughterhouse.
Never had one.
It came up today. It came up and someone mentioned your name. So I figure while you're here,
I
we
have to
could
look,
we
I
could
have
ask
to
you.
look it up and
The
see.
regulation.
And we'll make sure that you're not dedicated slaughterhouse.
That's a place to go.
I pass on that.
I would have to. Okay. All right. So anybody have questions for Shirley?
We have, the reports.
We have the report.
Okay.
And what is, I'm trying to make sure that our records are in tip-top shape in our department. Is it fair and reasonable to think that monthly you'll?
I will try to get a report here every month.
Okay, great.
I'll try.
Is it the same report that you sent to the state?
I don't send reports.
No.
You don't?
She has a barn book.
And they
I
get,
keep
when I do
forgetting.
quarantines, they get a copy of all the quarantines, and the barn book. I do the barn inspections between September and February, and at the end of, whenever I finish.
And that
I
gets
send
sent
it
to
to
them.
the state. Yes.
Okay, all right. Because you talk about a bond book, but I don't know what a bond book does, so.
Well, I don't have one right now because they don't send them till September, and I don't keep it. When I'm done with it, I send
Send it back to them.
state. I have my copies if you want to see those.
No, I just want, so you're just going in and inspecting?
Any place that has any type of farm animal or fowl is required to be inspected once a year.
Okay, so
And
even
I'm
chickens?
looking- Even chickens, and I try, I'm sure I don't get them all. I do about 50 barns a year.
I was gonna say, you're busy.
Yeah, because they're popping up everywhere, especially the chickens.
This is why I didn't get reports for a year, because my business took off after COVID, and I didn't have the help I had before COVID, because I had to let people go.
Right.
So there wasn't time to do everything.
Okay.
You keep track of everybody who has chickens. Because everybody has them in their backyard now.
I try to get to all of them, but they pop up like
They do.
weeds.
Just check Facebook for who's selling eggs.
Yeah.
Well, I just drive around and make a note that, okay, this chicken's here, this chicken's
Yeah.
there,
No.
here's a chicken, there's.
And on South Street, they're crossing the road.
Put that. I need your signature too.
A lot to keep track of. No, but I don't have any more questions.
Okay. Just let Kevin take a peek.
If you can read my shorthand.
Oh, easy to
Kids
read.
going to school now, can't.
Oh, no. But I mean, there's things there, like I just put a Q for quarantine. I'm lazy.
And this is due, Teresa, when? When is it due in?
Past due.
Yeah, it is past due, because it was
That's
due.
right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That was the appointment, right?
Yes.
That was for the appointment. With the state.
So Shirley, if you, once they're done, if you can bring this downstairs,
Oh, okay.
and, Jean Kelly is a notary, and see if she's here to have it notarized so we can get it in the mail tomorrow morning.
Okay.
Does that work?
Yeah, she's here.
Yeah, okay.
We'll look, I don't know.
Yeah.
What office is she in?
Oh, the clerk's office.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'll see. I did the ethics test, by the way.
Oh, good.
That was a surprise. I was like, oh, yay.
I did one, and then they came out with a new version like
Yeah.
2 months later, and I had to do that one
You're
too.
gonna do that too?
You did both.
They want everybody in the same, the old one is in an old system and the new one's in a new system.
Okay, well, I did the new one, so I'm all set.
You're good.
It seems pretty thorough to me.
Yeah. All right. Teresa, what's the term? What's the appointment term?
Animal inspector?
No, the term
time
meaning the
frame.
time frame.
Let me see, it is, what's the name? The nomination will cover the year starting May 1st and run until April 30th of 2024. So May 1 of 23 to April 30th of 24.
Okay. I just want to make sure we put that in the motion.
Okay.
You're good? Okay.
This looks
Gil,
good.
any questions?
All set.
Okay.
I make, a motion that we nominate, I have to say, but where's, it's, I know it's Kavicki something.
Savage.
Kavicki Savage. To be our animal, Shirley, there it is, Shirley Kavicki Savage, I can't speak. To be our animal inspector, 5/1/23 to 4/30/24.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, Shirley, thank you.
Congratulations.
Nice to meet you.
I'm not sure I should be.
I know, I was like, really? I don't know.
It's more like a service to the town. I think it costs
Thank
you
you.
more than you pay me.
So if you could just see if she's down there, have it
This,
notarized,
I
and then
think,
have it
requires
to me so I can send it to,
Okay.
I can send it tomorrow to the
Okay.
state.
Excellent.
Okay, awesome, thank you, Shirley.
Right, let's see what time
Aye.
it is.
I think we're current.
Okay.
Double check that.
Just this year, right?
All right. Tell me.
190 Indian Head.
Well permit.
Oh, great. Okay. So let's look at the irrigation well permit for 190 Indian Head Street. Thank you. Gil, did you have any?
No, I'm all set with it.
This is the 100-foot setback here.
No.
And the 25 from the property line.
Okay.
So it's within the,
And how far away from the property line?
more than 25. They have a whole area
Okay.
dedicated to where they can drill for it. And
It is within.
yet the only thing would be after it's installed, just have it surveyed in physical well location. Give us a plan.
So we have it to go with your subject.
What that's used for is, engineer comes in, they got to design a system repair. They have to locate all the wells and having that physical location. Just from going from a proposed and you physically put it in, here. That's all.
Exactly. Not a problem. Not a problem.
All right.
Okay.
Good.
Any other questions?
I'm unfamiliar with the process, but does my well driller call you or I can call him now and he can proceed, or does he need a
Correct.
permit number from you?
If he needs a permit number, he can call the office.
I'll make a motion to approve the application for a well permit for 190 Indian Head Street.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
We need to sign.
Now you can call him.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Enjoy.
Yeah, nice day.
That's it.
She looked like she was talking to herself, so.
Today's the 16th.
Oh, yeah,
You were thinking of it, your lips were moving, so it was like.
because I'm reading what I'm typing.
That's, yeah.
Your signature on that.
Oh.
All right. Mr. Howard, thank you for being so patient. And you are here to talk to us about water table issues.
Well, that is drinking water also.
Okay.
The first little thing,
Thank you.
the stormwater management thing is, something that I wanted to be done earlier, but it couldn't have been done, but I'm really worried about Spring Street because of the fact that the water table is so high there, and there's so many buildings going in. And how is they gonna have the retention work in correspondence with the sewage leaching fields? Because, Spring Street has no drainage on it, so therefore, the DOT will tell you that you can't have any water run from that development onto Spring Street, because in the wintertime it can cause a hazard. So that means everything that comes off your roofs, gutters, driveways, the roadways, has to go into the ground, and it can't go out onto Spring Street. And I'm just curious to the point, I'm a curious one, that's gonna have a problem working with the water table so high there. And if they build up the land, it's gonna force all the water to the poor homes that are there already. And so, that's what, I just wanted to talk to you and bring up these items. The other thing is, I was on the Board of Health back in the late 60s and early 70s. And one of the main things that Dick Hoyer and Jim Daly and I had at that time was, no matter where you put a foundation in, the foundation should be above the water table. And we did a pretty good job of it, I think. But I noticed my nephew, Chris Howard, who was on the school committee there, he lives on Pennsylvania Avenue. He's got 2 sump pumps in his yard, in his cellar. And the water table is roughly 32 inches from his driveway. And I'm wondering how these things got built back in the time that it was built. I mean, this bothers me because of the simple fact Rockland and Whitman had the same problem 60 years ago. And they wound up putting in a sewage treatment plant. Well, Hanson's a small enough town that we're paying enough taxes now. And if we had to put a treatment plant in for our whole town, which is uncalled for actually, it would double our taxes, if not even more. And that's why I started the stormwater management thing about putting in because working with the DEP, the DEP, they want the water now to go back into the ground. They don't want it to be running off in streams and brooks and getting rid of it, which nobody realized back when they put the throughways in all over the country. And this stormwater management I've got here, over on Christopher Lane off East Washington Street. The house right opposite it, my father built in 1935. And my younger daughter and her husband David Bloss live there now. But out behind their house is swamp, which is full of mosquitoes. And they were proposing to put a detention area parallel to East Washington Street in that area to cover that, the stormwater management. And I asked Ed, I says, could you do something about changing that? Just off the cuff, back in 2007, I think it was, before I even was a selectman. And he said, no problem. I said, would you do the back one too? He said, no. And I said, you're right, because you aren't obligated to put the one in the front. So anyway, he did a nice job, and that's what I hope you all got a copy of it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I think you presented this
Yeah,
to us.
You came before and talked about this.
And I,
Yeah.
You did.
and, well, what I'd like to do is, somehow, I don't know how it can be done, But I think all retention and detention should be underground,
Right.
no matter what it is, where in the town now. And, because, I also spent, as a selectman, I spent 10 years going to the mosquito control down in Plymouth County down there. And, with the West Nile virus and the triple E's around, the more open-faced ones we have, it's just gonna produce more mosquitoes. And it's in areas where the gravel is, excellent perk. But we've got over 20 of them now in town that are not working, producing mosquitoes, and there's no money to fix any of them because a lot of them are they're in an association in the development, which you can't use tax money for. And what are we gonna do about it? This is mainly, it's something I'm really uptight about, let's put
Yeah.
it that way.
Well, something in an association, in a development like that, I mean, they're responsible to maintain that, and that could be enforced either through
Is there enforcement though?
Well, I'm just saying that they, you know, that could be enforced either through the special permit conditions or the zoning decision, or however that was approved, that would typically be a condition, that they're responsible, they need to maintain it, that's something that could be enforced by the authority having
But I don't
jurisdiction.
think nobody ever put any of them in. The
No, but
developers were supposed to do them, they walked away and that was that.
He was talking about, like a condo project, something like that,
Right.
where there's an association that owns it, where the association's responsible that, you know, in their terms of agreement, that association is responsible for maintaining a certain.
But I'm saying back then, they didn't make them responsible for it.
Yeah, but I don't think you can make them responsible. This is the problem.
You didn't make them responsible, and for any of them. And that's what they got abandoned, and that's.
What, is there a specific development that we're talking about, or?
No, there's
Just kinda
20
in general.
detention areas in town, and
Yeah.
and right now they're all pretty near full of water, and the water's going to be warm enough, and they're going to start breeding mosquitoes.
Yep.
And there's no way that we can do anything to rectify it.
We,
And this is one of the biggest problems. And I started working with Earl Simmons way back in 1956 when I was in high school. I didn't want to go to college, and luck we have it, he needed somebody to work for him, and I did 10 years with him. And I was all over Plymouth County.
I have a question.
Yes.
Is there a specific home association right now that has a detention or retention that's not being taken care of that's full? That's what he asked, and I didn't think you heard.
That's really where I was going.
I know, but I don't think he heard you.
If there's a specific,
There's none of them being taken care of by
No,
anybody.
but is there one in particular that when you say there's a homeowners association, is there one in particular that you're thinking about? Is it something up the street? Where is it? And do you have a listing of where these retention and detention areas are? Do we have any idea
The
what
only thing I can
streets
say
they're
on
on?
that is, I took Gil out one time and we visited. I showed him, 3 of them that particular day?
It would be easier if we had the locations, then we could maybe figure out who's responsible for them. But do you have a particular?
Well, the one on Williams Way, okay, was built. And it was built in, I have to, showed up the day that they had the town engineer and the engineer that drew up the plans, and they built it. And I was surprised because the pipe inlet going into the detention area is at least a foot lower than the stones that the water's supposed to be going into. Now, when I left there, I didn't think that the person would get their $20,000 bond back,
But they did
but they did.
every time.
So what are you gonna do? There's one you can't do anything with. This is what I'm saying.
It would be helpful. I'm gonna just ask if we can get a list of the streets.
okay,
It would be really helpful if we knew the locations of them. If you have a list somewhere of where they are,
Well,
who would know where they are?
all I can say is I took Gil around and showed Captain Nathaniel, the one right on the road there, the one the pipes covered with water. you remember that one?
Yeah.
I showed you the one over to, Williams Way. You saw that one?
The highway department.
There's nothing you can do with them anymore, Gil. This is the problem.
The highway department, under a stormwater management plan, are addressing some of those.
Yeah, but the highway department can't go work on association ones.
They're working on it because they have to work on the storm management plan, and that's what they're doing now.
Well, maybe you can do it through that way.
They're redoing catch basins and everything. And if you look at that retention area on Christopher Lane, that we looked at that time, if you drive by there, you'll see that people have done plantings over that system there, which that system was supposed to be open, but now that house on the corner has done a lot of planting and stuff. They planted street trees there too. Now, as far as I remember talking about that system had to be exposed. If you look down the beehive in the center of that lawn there, the beehive it's full of leaves and stuff. So something's happening there, and obviously it's probably a perfect example of that underground drainage, but it's not going to work because it's being ignored. Now, someone has to be put in charge of that. The town should not take responsibility for that, but someone should take responsibility for it. I believe Christopher Lane is still not accepted in town. So these issues definitely have to be addressed. They have to be addressed as far as the stormwater management plan for the town. You know, the highway department and environmental partners is working quite well together. There's a lot of things that have to take place, and hopefully it's going to take a few years to do done. And then we talk about mosquitoes and larvae, that type of stuff. The planes did go over April 28th and sprayed all the swamps and stuff in the high wetlands areas. It was sprayed. Plymouth County Mosquito Control, they do put the plugs in the different retention areas and all catch basins. So Plymouth County Mosquito works very well with the town of Hanson. They've also cleared a lot of drainage ditches along the way.
Usually useless,
it's happening.
I don't know what to do.
It's happening, Don, because these things are being addressed. The town of Hanson is financially stressed. Even highway department itself, they're short personnel.
Well, Hanson's blessed with the fact that we're loaded with water.
Yes.
And that's one of the best things, because the aquifer that runs between Main Street, Phillip Street, Home Street, West Washington Street, Franklin Street, and back up Main Street, that's where the main water supply is coming from right now.
Correct.
So,
And
from our conversation previously, you were also going to be working on an article. Are you planning for the town, for our next town meeting?
yeah, okay. I just thought maybe working with the Board of Health, because you have a lot of power, the Board of Health.
Well, I think the issue you brought to me was around the mosquito piece, and I did look into it after we spoke with Gil, and then also looked over the Plymouth County, what they do for us in terms of spraying for mosquitoes. And I'm not sure this time there's much more that we can do, but I do think from talking to the select board, there's an article that you're going to hopefully be working on. I told you don't give up on this, and put it before the town.
Okay.
If you drive around town, Don, you'll see when you drive
I love
around
this town. I think it's
I
great.
love this town too. That's why I'm still here. You'll see that the culverts they're working on. You'll see where Plymouth County Mosquito Control, cleared some of the ditches. They do spend a lot of time in Hanson, and I see quite an improvement. But due to the fact that the highway is short of people, it's slowed down a little bit. But they are out there. It's catch basin cleaning time, so they're reviewing the catch basins, the condition of the catch basins, and everything. So, there is progress, slow as it is. Trying to work within budgets and stuff. But they are working on it, and it takes a lot. It takes a lot of money to do stormwater management, and it's not going to happen overnight.
Millions of dollars.
Yes.
Yep. Mr. Howard, thank you for coming and talking to us.
This is what I did to make 2 perk tests back then.
Yeah, we did skip over intention.
When I had a question on the engineers that did the testing,
Mm-hmm.
and we found some that weren't too accurate,
I see.
and we took care of them too. But there is one other thing that bothers me badly. There's 4 house lots that didn't pass a perk test, but there's 4 houses on it. And the reports were left in the Board of Health office where I left them, though, and, someday, I don't know when it's gonna be, but anyway. I appreciate you listening to me, and I'm sorry to cause the trouble.
You didn't cause any trouble at all.
So, I will.
You need help with that?
Loose and let you go home to your supper.
Going to the elevator? Or are you taking the
So I'll
stairs?
take the 18 stairs.
Not me.
Be careful with that.
Well, the 18 stairs is less than going the other way.
The elevator's right there.
I know it is, but I can't see the letters to push.
Okay. We're gonna have to teach you some braille numbers.
That doesn't seem like it's safe.
No, that's
It's
what I'm
not a
saying.
good idea.
No, they think it's a good
Why don't
idea.
I carry it down?
Either that or take them to the elevator and press the button.
All right, what do we got next?
Okay,
My thing is, if we knew what he was talking about,
we're gonna move on.
move the highway to see what's going on. I know, but like,
So I would like to move on to the health agent performance appraisal.
Yep.
We have a hefty agenda. still.
yes, we still have a
Um,
bunch of stuff.
all right. Let's, I would like Teresa back though, so she can
Right,
keep the minutes.
we did that.
All right. Does everybody have a copy of the summary?
What are you doing now?
We're doing Gil's performance appraisal.
Okay.
She might have them.
No, I did not make copies of this.
I think we all got email.
Oh, you did, I'll get email.
Was that the one that?
This is
And
the
this
summary
is-
It
of
was emailed, and this is
It was, everything was.
Mhm.
This is his,
his response.
Oh, I know that, I have not seen it.
But this,
I do not have.
what you need is
Yep.
the summary of the 3 of our evaluations. It's all summarized in
And did
one.
I sign that right back?
yes.
Okay, I think it's something I was just asking, no, I was asking the right thing, but.
All right.
We'll look at my email.
So this is the 2023 Health Agent Performance Evaluation, and the way I want to put out there, this was that first go-round, I think, for the board, maybe ever.
Yeah.
So I just want to put out the disclaimer that I think we can probably even tweak it a bit for next year and streamline it, and we're going to learn as we go about format and process, just because we sort of jumped in
Right.
and tried our best. So maybe at some later date we can talk about improvements to the form and whatnot. But for now, what each board member has in front of them is a summary of the 3 board members' individual evaluations of Gil Amato. In general, there's a range of feedback here. I guess I will go through and sort of summarize each section for the record. So the first section here is, and maybe we can all comment on each section as we go.
Sure.
I think that makes the most sense. So the first section of evaluation is board support and relations, and I think, you know, in general, in looking at the range rated 1 through 4, with 1 being improvement needed, 4 being outstanding, and then there's an NA not applicable column. It's sort of middle of the road, with 2, I think, being the average, and the comments include passivity and working with the chair to develop a meeting agenda, struggling to organize a plan and focus a project, and the benefits of implementing an organization strategy to make sure that job tasks are completed in a timely and focused manner. There's commentary that Gil, you're always available and responsive to the needs of the office and the community, including on weekends, holidays, and evenings, and clearly are dedicated to the town of Hanson. There's also commentary that communication is a struggle, and sometimes Gil can be defensive. Thoughts or comments?
No,
covers.
Okay. So at the conclusion, we can go over the performance plan. The second category is financial management. There's a pretty even mix of ones and twos here. There is concern that attention to the articles per town meeting was neglected. Some budget errors were neglected, and concerns about spending grant monies somewhat urgently when there may not be need. And that's additional comments about concerns about the budget plan and Gil's participation in developing the budget. Comments, questions, concerns?
No.
No.
All right. Gil, any comments specific to that?
No, I mean, it needs to be worked on. It needs to be worked on both ends, as far as town administrator and town accountant. And, you know, it's a combination. I mean, this board probably hasn't had an article in, I don't know how long. The articles previously presented, you know, were created by the town administrator and town accountant. This is the first time it's ever been done this way. And it was kind of confusing about doing this, so.
Yep.
I mean, we picked up the ball and ran with it because I think, you know, people were lost about it.
Yep.
So, myself, not only the town administrator and town accountant. So.
Yep, I would agree with that. And I think it's been clarified that it's going forward will be the department head's responsibility. That doesn't mean that we don't collaborate, but the initiative to bring it to the board and say we need an article for this, or you know, we have budgetary issues, is to come from the department head moving forward.
The wording on D&E, and I can see why somebody would have said not applicable, because our debt program, he's kind of not responsible for that. So I think in one or two of those,
Yeah.
at some point we're gonna need to tweak it because it doesn't really fit what he does.
Mm-hmm.
So it was kind of hard to say.
Yeah.
You know, good or bad or in between, because, you know.
Yeah.
But that's just those two.
I think that's something we should address in a future, maybe 2 or 3 meetings down the line here, because it's important that, you know, the budget articles, and especially for October town meeting, where we don't have any direction as far as what's going to take place there.
Sure.
As far as we know, everything's going to taxation, but there's other issues that are probably going to pop up in between all this.
Mm-hmm.
So, in which we have, I believe there's going to be a department head meeting next month or something to be discussing that. So it wasn't discussed in today's department head meeting, but it'll probably be the next department head meeting. So.
Okay.
But I think in the past, we've always sort of known what we were gonna need for town meeting. And it's been the agent's responsibility to gather that, present it to the board, and then it goes to town meeting. And I think that's what this is saying, that was skipped.
Yeah.
So that's in the future, but in the past, it's always been that the agent came to us and said, okay, this is the budget, this is what we're gonna need, this is what we're gonna need to ask town meeting for. And that's the way it should have been handled, and it wasn't, I think, is what this
Yeah.
area is about.
Yeah, I mean, I can only speak to my 2 or 3 town meetings thus far, and I think that the articles we've needed to provide have been done by you and I.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the feedback that I've gotten in sort of digging in is that moving forward, that's, Gil, your responsibility to be aware of and then bring to the board and develop.
Proactively?
Right. Comments? Okay. Personnel management, organizational leadership. Again, on average, 1s and 2s with some 3s mixed in here. One of the board members felt like a good relationship had been developed. That there is an observed collaborative and positive coworker relationship in the office. The office is, according to this individual, bright and friendly. There are concerns about the oversight of the Board of Health admin and the recommendation to organize and take initiative and organize a performance appraisal for the admin to give her the opportunity for feedback and growth. Comments about Gil being a team player, but lacking creativity for forward thinking and some problem solving. It could be more thoughtful and concrete. Another board member indicates that that Gil does not include staff or board on many issues, and has not observed any support or training for the administrative assistant. Any comments?
Doing great.
I'm just trying to summarize without
Yeah.
reading verbatim.
Yeah, that's-
Oh, yeah, because I'm looking at it, and I mean, but he's already read what's here, so.
Any other commentary? Gil?
No, I think there's, in reviewing this, there's a lot of issues that, that do not reach the board, due to the fact that some of the issues I handle can't be discussed in open meeting. There are things that,
Sure.
and maybe we can add these two as far as the agent and chairman meeting or something to discuss if something should go before the board or not.
Sure.
Like I said, we do have there's quite a few issues that are very confidential, and it's not like there's just one or two in there. It happens all the time. So maybe take more of a, I mean, I can't say working together all the time because it's hard to get everybody together, but I think that maybe review some of these things that we do handle, and that way does it go before the board or does it not go before the board? So.
Sure.
As far as the administrative assistant there, I mean, I don't think that has ever been done in the history of Hanson. Right? Am I correct in saying that?
What, I'm sorry, I'm trying to
Yeah.
type all of this.
I'm not
never been
away
reviews
now,
done.
am I?
Performance review.
There has never been performance reviews done.
That's what he was saying.
So the tenor, I think, of the
It is in our contract.
is that performance appraisals are going to be done really
Oh, yes.
across the board now.
Yes, but I think because they've never done it before, for all of us, this is
Ground up.
first, right, yeah. Starting and figuring out what's best, how it should be done.
Right. I mean, I know I haven't ever worked anywhere where there weren't performance appraisals done in some
Me
sort
either.
of professional
Nor have I.
environment.
Me either.
So I think that this is, I think we were
Standard.
sort of the push to get the whole building doing them, and we'll continue. And you're welcome.
I've never worked somewhere where I've had them.
That's why I added professional. Nothing about professional.
You don't have them on the night show? No.
The T can barely.
They're short 900 people. They're not reviewing anybody.
All right, well, let's stick with it. But yeah.
Yeah.
So next category is community leadership and public relations. A wide range of 1s, 2s, and 3s here, a couple of 4s. The comments include topics about Gil being available to the chair and employees at the transfer station, observation of responding to community needs outside of regular business hours. Records have been received from community members and businesses thanking Gil for his attention, kindness, and assistance. There's commentary about interfacing with more clarity, consistency, and communication with other town hall departments. There's comments about not following up on complaints in a timely manner and difficulty communicating effectively. Thoughts or comments? Gil, anything?
No, I think, it's, there's always room for improvement any place, so.
Mm-hmm.
And difficulty in communicating, sometimes yes, I mean, sometimes my brain flows faster than my mouth, but, I always tell me to slow it down, but, there's room for improvement every place. I'm not,
Yeah.
I'm not,
Yep.
it's, like I tell people, it's 2023, we gotta get moving here, and it includes myself, because there's a lot of things happening, the world's changing. The town of Hanson's changing dramatically, so
Right.
we gotta keep going.
Next is town operations and infrastructure, largely 1s and 2s. Comments are that there's been considerable time spent thinking about the future of the transfer station and its contracts, having an observation of him having good relationships with local vendors, and knowledge of the questions asked of us as a department related to the transfer station. Gil was supportive of the creation of the swap shop and has assisted hands-on in its implementation. Gil does not consistently demonstrate forward thinking relative to projects, capital improvements, or budgetary needs, and concerns that the board is not provided with detailed weekly reports, which makes it hard for the board to know what is being provided by our health agent. Comments?
No, I think it's accurate.
And lastly, personal professional section, individual qualities of and professional skills and status. Again, a wide range of 1s, 2s, and 3s with some 4s. The comments include that Gil has struggled to complete and pass the soil evaluator course and test, which was expected under his job description upon hire. He, I believe, has expressed a plan to retake the test and has been open to feedback to improve the score. Observation that Gil is clearly dedicated to the town of Hanson and desires to remain in service to the town. Has been willing to discuss improvements to skills relative to organization and time management, and is aware and insightful about those needs. The belief, there's a comment that Gil could benefit from strategies to enhance efficiency in delivering data and in relation to job tasks, including the request to resume all food inspections, which has already been implemented. And then finally, board member finds Gil can be defensive to responses to questions, which makes it difficult to work with him. Some aspects of work are overlooked or not done, and there is evidence of inflexibility to suggestions. Before we move on to what I think is a very important part.
I don't know if that piece here.
Oh,
Meanders.
I apologize. I was skipping through. It's a long paragraph. Just a comment, additional comment, that Gil can be difficult to follow in board meetings and meanders off topic without responding to the inquiries that are made of him. Before we get to the performance plan or the action plan to address any deficits or deficiencies, Gil, you submitted a response to the performance appraisal, and I think it will be important for you to share it. You want to share it?
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Where's my copy?
Here, I have another copy right here.
Yeah.
Here you go.
Yeah. So after reviewing all this,
Yeah, right here. Oh, no, she was asking me a question.
Okay. So after reviewing all this, yeah, there's a lot of work on my part to improve. And I think, as far as the meetings go, I deal with so many different subjects in the course of the day. So meeting once a month, these all build up. And the written reports I do don't always contain the necessary information that the board should actually have. And that's why I felt it important to, discuss with the board some of these different projects and some of these different things I handle. Yes, I do start moving very fast, and my subjects change dramatically, but that's because trying to give the board information they need to have, because we do have a lot of things going on. And this is my response to this. I mean, like I said, I've been here my whole life, the job I've been planning on staying a long time, and there's a lot of things not only have to do, and also the board itself in working together, because things are definitely changing. Hanson's now got a 3-story building, and we're going to have 3 or 4 of them now. And there's a lot of rules and regulations that do change. Regulations that update. Yeah, I think we got to, come together with a better plan, how the board's gonna operate and how the health agent's gonna operate, because there's a lot of things coming to the pike that will be updated through the course of these years. You know, we've got, so many developments starting, and, it's very important that we, maintain relationship with the contractors, builders, and the residents afterwards. We're gonna have a lot of residents here, so, and this is myself to succeed, and the board to succeed also, so that we all work together. And, this is my response here, I think,
Can you go
Yeah.
through this one for
yeah,
us?
working, working recorded events that take place. So there's a lot of different events that take place in town that the board cannot have, being all together as a board, cannot have privy to. At one at a time, yes, you can probably, supply that information to the board. Because they are, like I said, confidential in nature. And, like I said, the board needs more information, but sometimes it can, like I say, it can't be done in an open meeting. So it has to be done and reviewed and then decide what should become of this, some of these issues that we do have. I am researching more courses. Can you hear me all right, Sean?
Go ahead.
Yeah, just pick up just a little.
Okay. I'm researching, more courses that take place. Yes, the soil evaluation course is very difficult. Very few people. It's being adjusted again. It's been suggested I take actual geology course before taking the course again. So I'll be looking into that.
Who suggested that?
Pardon?
Who's that suggested by?
One of the other members of the group that gives the course.
Okay.
Because it is actually geology. It's not like, not actually looking. The course has nothing to do with inspection of septic systems. So.
Okay.
All right. So. And, we've covered this, working with the town administrator for October. I have no problem doing that, but the information, we have to get it also. It comes from the town accountant. It comes from the town administrator also. We don't always have that. I don't have that information at my fingertips. Accounting has it, and I'm sure that the next department head meeting that will be discussed. It wasn't done today. It was on the agenda today, but it wasn't discussed today. So, the meetings at the transfer station. I am up there 2 or 3 times a week. We talk. I don't document what we talk about there, but I will start doing that. And
Okay.
I think it's something I should be doing. Researching what their needs are, and also educating them on things that they should be taking care of up there. I did give them the plan, the mattress plan, and a couple other plans that they have on file there. If they're have any questions. So we will improve on that. I'll create another booklet for them, and maybe starting right from the beginning, the transfer station rules and regulations. So, and this will implement these things, almost immediately and work on this. And like I say, communication is the biggest thing between the board and the health agent, because time is here to change things, and I fully agree that we have to change things. And not just myself, everybody, the board, everybody, because there are a lot of things that will be coming for this board that the board's never handled before. So, in short, that's what I have here. So.
Yes, Arlene, you have a question.
I did have a question. When you're talking about confidential matters that you can't discuss with the board, now I could see you saying maybe if you had a housing issue, and maybe that would be, what kinds of things do you think that are confidential that you can't discuss with the board?
Medical things. Medical things.
Okay.
There's several medical things that occur that.
Broad, not specific medical things.
Well, yeah, I'll put broad, yes. Yeah. I mean, there's Maven issues, and there's calls that come in. People complain about certain things, and these items, they're of personal nature, and some of them shouldn't go before the board. And I'm not only the health agent in town of Hanson, also, the state public health, agent.
Right, but then how does the board ever get to know that you're handling
through the chair?
Stuff.
The chair, one person through the chair. This medical stuff can go through the chair. We have an issue that will be coming up shortly in the next couple of weeks, and it'll go through the chair. This information coming down will go through the chair before it becomes public information. And we'll be discussing
And I'm
that
not
with the
saying
chair.
that should be public information, I'm just wondering, how do we know we're addressing the needs of the community if we don't know what's happening in the community? And it's not like we need a name, of what's going on, but we need to know if there's an outbreak of this or that or the other. It should be communicated in some way. You don't have to put addresses in, you don't have to put names in.
It can
But-
be redacted.
Yeah, yeah, and I feel like we're not told about a lot of stuff, and we should be aware, because people hear stuff and then they question you about it. I'm sure you have that problem, Melissa.
Sure.
Yeah. And so that, yes, they're confidential and that you wouldn't share them with the general public, but I think everybody on this board would keep information like that confidential, would know how important it is to keep that information confidential. And as far as I know, no one has ever broke that confidentiality that's been on this board.
No, I never say anybody has, but I'm
No.
just saying some of these items that,
Right.
we are getting a broader population of people in town, and like I say, through some of these issues that take place, I mean, it should go through the chair and then to the board. We'll do it that way. I mean, there's medical issues, there's things that should not be discussed in open session.
I definitely wouldn't discuss it in
And that
open
might be,
session.
and I think that might be a good sort of filter so that then we can
Yes.
say, okay, let's put this on our next
This is-
agenda.
Right, this is
And
becoming a
here's how
problem.
we'll do it so
Right.
that we aren't violating someone's privacy or
Right.
we're speaking about it in more broad terms, but making sure all three of us are brought into the loop. And maybe that's a good segue into, because I think there's actually a suggestion for establishing some weekly meetings.
Okay.
I guess I'll just say that a couple of things. I think that you're right. I agree with you, Gil. There's a lot that's going on. Even if you can just look at our agendas now compared to a year ago, and they're extensive. They're very long. There's a lot going on, and it does require an even greater level of organization so that nothing falls through the cracks. And I think that's why it's highlighted in here so many times that organization and effective, concise communication is really key moving forward. So a lot of that in the sort of performance plan or remediation plan, action plan, is targeted towards that. So the last page of the performance appraisal talks about areas for development and then an action plan. And some of the areas for development really are just a regurgitation of what we just went through, but time management and task efficiency being, I think, overwhelmingly stated. Passing the soil evaluator course, developing skills in managing the budget and preparing the department for town meetings, establish flow of communication between the agent, transfer station, chair, and anticipate problems, needs, supports for employees. And then there was a recommendation for a number of classes: public speaking, conflict management, time management, and report writing class. In terms of an action plan, and I think this is where we need to come together and put forth a final product that the board supports, and Gil, you are aware of, and to some degree have a in on. So the action plan: maintain a daily log with times of events on a planner to be shared each Friday at 12 p.m. with the chair and admin. Organize topics for, and then my guess is the admin would then share that with the rest of the board, since you have to be the conduit. Organize topics for the board in advance of meetings and present facts, questions, needs, and outcomes concisely. Thoughts on this point?
I think those are all good recommendations. I just would like to see how we try to implement them. I think they're all necessary.
Gil, did you have any thoughts on how? And you've looked at this. You've had some time to think about it. I know you and I have had some extensive conversations before all of this about ways to remediate and time manage and organize. What are your thoughts on this?
Like
one
I
point?
started the plan, the walk plan and everything, and, you know, I'm, and it's a weekly thing, yes, I mean, like, I do visit, you know, I'll go to one septic system 4 or 5 times in the course of a week, and we're gonna have dozens of them coming up, so, a weekly report probably be better, like a daily log, it's, you know, I think it's working on this, and, you know, I am using a planner now and trying to get organized a little better, because things are moving, things are going to start moving fast, and, you know, keeping track of everything, so. But we,
I guess I get it. Things are moving fast. I'm not sure that can be a reason not to provide the board.
Yeah.
This is my position.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that can continue to be a reason not to provide the board with an outline of what you do.
Yeah.
I agree. Things are moving fast. Things are probably moving fast for all of us.
Yeah.
But there has to be accountability and a log of what's happening. So I really see this from my perspective as a must, that every Friday you provide an outline of the week.
Okay.
And I think there are some templates from prior agents.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I've reviewed that, so.
Okay.
I think that's key. That's key.
And what I've noticed also, some of the things you usually get in paper, you don't want to get paper, it's emails. And sometimes emails, even myself with emails coming in, some of them should go to Teresa also. So that's something to work on too, because there's no paper coming through the mail as much as it used to be.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll get an email that she should get too, and trying to work on that a little bit better too, because I'll get emails and don't realize she should also be copying on that. And so, you know, trying to improve that better communication with the admin, because things, you know, the days of writing notes back and forth don't make it anymore. Everybody's emailing.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Sure.
so that's, you know, trying to improve that together.
If it's in writing, you can prove it.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
So we'll discuss that. So.
And I think that, so on the organizing topics for the board, so when you do your agent's report, you don't have to recreate the wheel. You can simply take those 3 weekly reports that you've already completed and bring them in and just say, you know, here's X and here's my 2 sentences on that. And then if we have questions, we can facilitate discussion from there. But it doesn't have to necessarily be, you know, a lengthy report. It can be, here's what I did, here's my position on it, or some points I think you need to know, and then we can go from there.
So the agent report at a meeting would more or less just be a recap of the weekly
Exactly.
reports at the end of the week.
Exactly.
And I'm comfortable with not having a novel to read either. It's just
Yeah,
the,
right.
the cliff
Right,
notes
yeah.
first.
But if
Just
you
the
just-
cliff notes. That's
Right,
it. Just
right,
yeah.
right.
I was at A for this much time. B.
Absolutely.
You know, just through the day.
Yeah.
That's it. Like
Yeah.
8 lines.
And then
maybe,
if we
you know.
need to talk more, we can
So
talk.
we can ask.
And that way, I think that's good, because if you update the board at the end of the week, or update Melissa at least, and you know, if it's something that needs to be shared with the rest of the board, that we're not hearing about it a month, you know, at month intervals.
Yeah, that's difficult. The month intervals, they just don't kind of make it somewhat.
Well, and too much time has passed that really,
Yes.
if someone had to handle it, you had to handle it.
Yeah.
The board didn't really have a chance to hear about it until after it was resolved or it became a bigger issue. So that sounds good.
Okay. The second bullet under action plan is around the soil evaluator test. There is a bullet to reschedule the test, establish a plan forthwith to begin witnessing experienced soil evaluators, and begin independent study on topics for the test. Assuming that when we leave this meeting, we might have some changes to the action plan based on what we're discussing here.
Mm-hmm.
I just jotted a note down. You said, Gil, you were recommended to take a geology course.
Yeah. And when, I haven't really looked into it yet, but, you know, they've changed the system again. And, I thought Don Howard was gonna start talking about this tonight, the perk testing, which I was prepared for that, but, I guess he was on the agenda. Well, but, Board of Health and stuff, that's,
Yep.
so,
No, stay on what you're gonna do.
yeah.
Related to
So like I
numbers.
say, you know, to get the more experience in it, you know, as it stands, I come with this perk test, but as far as establishing to be a soil evaluator, that's more difficult, and they've made it even more difficult, so.
I know for me, it's just a matter of some steps forward. I think there'll be a sort of time frame for some of this by the time we conclude here today. I don't. I think it's important to me to see some initiative towards this and towards getting closer to passing the test.
It's almost 4 years.
I mean,
They've made it.
the condition, when Gil was hired, I mean, really the intent of it all was that he would obtain any certifications, anything he needed to do the job.
Yes.
That was the intent of it.
That,
So,
absolutely.
you know, fast forward, we're here today, and to witness a perk test, you don't need to be a soil evaluator. So, me personally, this is just me. I think that it's not worth pulling Gil away from other things that need to be focused on and improved on to really be stressing out about that. And I'd rather see he's taking the role back on of doing the food inspections. I'd rather see it focused on that and the stuff that he needs to focus on with the transfer station and his weekly logs and updating the chair and those type of issues, and not be stressing out about trying to get back enrolled and taking a geology class and that stuff, where a perk test fee in the application fee, that covers our cost to do it. It's the applicant's paying for it. It's not at an expense to the board or the town. So me personally, I'd prefer to just see them continue to be subbed out and use outside contracting, because perk test, it's typically a 4 hour for a half a day, or an 8 hour for a full day. And even if he was going to go out and do these, that's a lot of time to be out of the office and not focusing on other things that need to be focused on. That's just my opinion. But
Yeah, and every other health agent that we have was able to do that, and they scheduled them, and it was never an issue.
and I'm not saying that we can't bring that back and implement that if the workload is not there and we have room for it. But I'm saying for right now, I think that we should just continue on that. Let's focus on getting some other stuff taken care of and improved on, and then maybe we can revisit that. I just hate to really dump that on as another major item.
My concern is this was something when he took the job, he said he was going to do, and I understand that COVID came along and it changed that, but it was a job requirement, and we kept extending the time that we gave him to do this.
Yep.
At the time, we had an applicant that had all of those qualifications. If, there was a choice not to hire that person.
Yep.
That wouldn't have been an issue.
But it's not, Eileen, what you're missing is it's not an issue to have a soil
You're
evaluator.
saying that you don't have to be a soil evaluator, and
You
I'm
don't.
telling you, I go to a couple of meetings, and I went to one of the meetings, and I asked everybody in the coalition, it's all health agents, how many towns had health agents that weren't soil evaluators. The only 2 towns that didn't were towns that had town sewer. Everybody else has a
Right, but I'm not saying that it's not standard, it's not something you typically see. What I'm saying is it's not required, so I don't think we should really continue to beat a dead horse on it. That's what I'm saying.
But when he accepted the job, it was required.
It was a requirement with the intent that when it was discussed and brought up, I don't think anyone at the time knew that you didn't need a soil evaluator license. The conversation was pretty general, and it was, do you agree to get any certification, take any classes that you need to perform your job duties? That was the intent of the whole conversation. That was the intent of the board. That was the intent of the applicant. And come to find out, it's not required. If it wasn't required, would someone have, if we all knew about it, would we have said, you have to get something You have to get a certification that's not required for you to perform your job function. We're gonna make you do that. That wouldn't have been the conversation.
No, but I can't imagine why every other town in this area has something that's not required.
A lot of them do it on the side. A lot of health agents, they go out and they actually witness perk tests as a contractor, as a subcontractor.
But the soil evaluators.
Yes.
Yeah.
That allows
You're
them to
saying
do
that it's not
It's not a requirement for the Board of Health office to witness a perk test. The soil evaluator is the engineer or someone conducting the perk test,
Right.
not us witnessing it.
I understand the board doesn't witness it.
Right.
Although I have gone out and witnessed some with an agent. But yeah, I don't.
What I'm
I
saying
think
is,
you
I
and I
think-
have different ideas. Of
Well, it's just I don't
That's
want to
necessary.
I don't want to get hung up on this whole thing with pushing for improvement in this area that's really irrelevant, in my opinion. I think it's something that could be worked on if there's time, but I don't want to see it be the primary focus here when we don't need it to be. There's other things that
In
I'd
your
rather
opinion.
see focused on than getting a soil evaluator license that he does not need to perform his job duty. That's what it comes down to.
If we weren't paying somebody else to do the perks,
Yep.
would he need it?
No, he wouldn't. That's what I'm telling you, is I could go out and witness the perks every single day if I wanted to. I don't need a soil evaluator license to witness it.
And you need no skills, no.
You're a witness. You're not there to dispute soils. You're not there to perform the perk test. You're there to witness to say, it's 12 o'clock on Monday, this is the date, this is the year, I'm here with so-and-so. You're a witness like signing something. That's what you're there to do. You're not there to dispute.
And you're not taking down any of the measurements, anything else.
That's the engineer's job.
Yeah.
I did read through the Title V stuff,
Right.
and that's accurate, as far as I can read it.
Right.
My issue on this is that wasn't a part of the hiring.
Mhm.
And in all fairness, I probably wouldn't have been inclined to hire someone who didn't meet the job description or job duties, honestly.
Right. Yeah.
That would be that would have been my, would have influenced my vote for who to hire.
Right.
But here we are, and it's been many years since, yes, in a pandemic.
Yes.
But regardless, many years. And I think what we have in front of us are a variety of things that absolutely require attention. So I feel a bit stuck here, and have some desire and willingness to make sure all of the other things, because they are absolutely daily functions that the health agent has to perform, that they be addressed and attended to as a primary focus immediately.
That's what I'm trying to say. This is a very low priority, in my opinion, to me. Obtaining that certification that's not required. That's all I'm trying to say.
Oh no, I've heard you say that.
This
I've
is
heard
the
you
last
say that
on the
every-
list. All this other stuff is more important for me to see improved and accomplished. That is not one of them. I'm not saying it can't be done, but I'm saying that's low on my priority list of what I'd like to see improved.
Do you want to finish what you're saying?
No, I just it's a tough position because I wasn't a part of the hiring process, and I feel some responsibility to tackle what are, I think, clear deficiencies in performance, and sort of tackle some of these that are day-to-day absolute functions, and give it a time-limited focus.
Okay.
And then to revisit. I wouldn't say it's my low priority for me. I think it is a part of the job description, although I agree with Kevin, he doesn't have to have it to do his job. That's why I'm saying, let's get the things that have to be in place shored up as a priority. So that's where I'm at. That's just my look at it.
All right. So, does that mean you're dropping the requirement, pushing it off?
I'm not dropping anything. I'm just saying that it's not going to be something that I would necessarily lean on as.
In the next 3 to 6 months.
It's not something where I can say, we need to terminate the health agent because he doesn't have this. I sort of feel like that should have been discussed at hiring if job qualifications aren't met.
Oh, yeah.
You're taking a gamble on someone who doesn't meet the requirements.
That's right.
And it's not easy to then terminate someone necessarily.
When you hire somebody that didn't have a
Correct.
qualifications.
So I guess that's my position. I'm not saying,
No.
There were other things that were considered greatly when health agent was hired, such as like attendance, the fact that they showed up for the actual appointment, and their overall dedication to the town and involvement. When I have two applicants and one doesn't even bother to show up, I mean, that says a lot. I mean, that's just my opinion. I was
Who
one of
didn't
the
show
ones,
up?
the other applicant.
You mean for the meeting?
Yes.
For the meeting when we had, okay, that applicant was working someplace else, but.
Well, I'm just saying, if we're bringing up reasons as to why we should or shouldn't have hired someone, I'm just bringing up some reasons as to
Yeah, well.
what we're also
Person
weighed
had
in.
been interviewed, a recommendation was made by the acting town manager.
Well, either way, I mean,
And I
here
don't,
we are.
and I don't
So,
think, and I also don't think that person was told they had to be at that meeting. So,
there's a lot of things
okay.
that you don't have to do. It doesn't mean you can't do them.
so we're here now, hiring
We are
is done,
here.
and 5 years gone. So,
Yep.
so
Go ahead.
the third piece of the action plan is to begin working immediately with the town administrator and accountant to consider articles for October town meeting, but I guess maybe that should really say every town meeting.
All town meetings.
My one thing you said, Gil, that I just want to point out, and I take a little bit of issue with, in part because this ended up falling on me at literally the 11th hour, is that other people are responsible for getting us the information. I don't know that I see it that way. I think we have to be proactive and anticipate these things as town meetings approach. See which one?
I think it was the first page of that.
Of this?
Yeah.
So, we don't need to be fed information from other departments necessarily. We can inquire, and I think I'm not tooting my own horn here, but
No.
that's what I had to do, is I had to go and get the information, and figure it out. And I think we really have to take the bull by the horns and do our part as a department to anticipate our needs and the town's needs. Need anything else? Okay. Any other thoughts on that?
No. So were you thinking of where are you at now?
I'm here.
Okay.
And then number 4 is establish bi-weekly staff meeting for 30 minutes in person with transfer station employees and bring the relevant data to the board meetings for consideration and sharing. You said you're having meetings at the transfer station?
Yeah, I'm there twice a week.
So, one of the things that I notice is the only time I get information about the happenings at the transfer station is when I'm up there on the weekends, or Chris will call me, and email me. I would like that to come, my preference would be that most of that information, although I'll still be up there frequently, come from you. Tell us about the board, about the meetings you have with the transfer station attendants. For example, I know there's some staffing stuff coming up. We should probably have some information about that.
Mm-hmm. I'm getting information the same way you are when I go up there.
Okay. So it helps streamline, and I think it helps the transfer station attendants they feel attended to when we're all coming together and discussing this, and there's sort of outcomes. But a lot of things end up hanging.
Yeah, I mean, they tend to, certain individuals call you and some kinds of information is relayed to you. I don't relay it because someone's already relayed it to you. And I talk to them, and we do have staffing issues coming up, and we're working on trying to fill those issues. I'm still waiting here. I get waiting for confirmation for backup from Highway Department. I know that, John, probably found out today about
Let's,
that.
let's not make this about the transfer station, more general,
Yeah,
because we're not.
Yeah, general, because I
Yeah.
just mentioned
Yeah.
someone's name, I should have, but,
And
yeah, and the staffing, everything, working on that. I should have a better handle on it this week. We do have staffing issues there today, so.
I guess my question would be, if we're using somebody from another area, are we paying time and a half for that person?
Well, I don't want to make this about.
Yeah.
No, I'm just talking
Yeah.
in general.
This is about.
We don't have a lot of places where we can go to get staff to cover. So I'm assuming if we do, it's time and a half. So that's my question.
But that I think falls under when we talk about the transfer station today.
Okay. Oh, later. Okay.
Yeah. Because
Okay.
this is really
That's fine.
about
Yes.
Jill's
Yeah.
participation and performance.
Yes.
And then establish weekly telephone or in-person meetings with the chair with updates. And I think that's a great opportunity for you to bring sensitive, potentially confidential information to whoever the chair is, and go from there. So, thoughts, comments?
No.
The last three are really classes and trainings. So, the last three bullets, I don't know if anybody wants to
Let me
speak on that.
bring it up. Where am I? Which is A? 6 to 8 months.
I don't know. I think that's just a class. I don't know.
But you don't know if it's particular.
Mm-mm.
I guess I would want to know what classes or what training we're talking about within that time range. Set up a time range that's so general, we have no idea what the expectation's going to be.
So someone made a recommendation to implement the above action plan and review it in the August meeting. So that's 3 months. That's a 3-month plan, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I guess my suggestion would be a training, maybe of Gil, your choice, related to some of the skills that we've discussed today.
Yeah, and most of these probably are online type things.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I think everything.
Yeah, because it was time management. What were the other things that we talked about?
Public speaking, time management, conflict management, report writing.
Okay, that's like 4 classes, so 4 training.
That's a lot for
6
3
to 8
months.
months. No. Oh, you want? Okay, so that's what I'm trying to figure out. This is very different from that.
Yeah,
What do you want to do?
So just keeping in mind this was the synthesis of 3 people.
Yes.
So I'm assuming we're going to have some edits, which we'll quickly go over, to the action plan. I'm looking at you, Teresa.
I know you are.
Minor edits to that last page. But is it fair to say that by the August board meeting, there'll be an online training in one of those categories completed?
I would like to see definitely time management. What were the others we just talked about?
Public speaking.
Public speaking, I think, is not as important as the time management and the report writing.
Mm-hmm.
So I think in 3 months, those 2 would be significantly helpful.
Would report writing be satisfied by seeing an improvement in the presentations to the board?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So maybe a time management focus.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Before August. I guess I just want to make a quick statement that, I think I tend to be, I like to work with people and see improvement. Obviously, it's sort of what I do for a living.
We want them to improve.
I might have a bit of a bias, and I am very committed to helping in any way I can, make some of these improvements. But I tend to be someone who likes to see consistency over time, and I don't I want to be clear and sure before we leave here that this is not my responsibility or Teresa's responsibility or the board's responsibility to remind or prompt. Like this is sort of for you to pick up and run with, and provide consistently over a 3-month period and beyond. And I think that's important to say, that this isn't, a couple of weeks. This is really about improving the efficiency of the department and what we do here. So,
So I don't know if we want to change the timeline on that one, where it says 6 to 8 months, where we really want him to work on those 2 skills in the next 3 months.
so is it fair to say I made a couple of minor edits here as we were talking, obviously. Under number 1, maintain a daily log with times of events on a planner to be shared each Friday at 12 p.m. with chair and admin. And I also put on there that that's an opportunity to discuss any sensitive information to then consider sharing with the board, just because that was something that Gil had brought up. I'll give it to you after, Teresa.
Kind of like,
She's looking at you with whatever you have written down, I'll look at it later.
And then I put the geology course down there, not that you necessarily have to take it and complete it,
But it would be helpful.
but it's there for you to pursue. And then I deleted number 5, a class 6 to 8 months, and I deleted number 6, and I basically consolidated 5, 6, and 7 and put a 3-month time frame for a time management course. Organization time management course.
And would you add to that one then improvement in writing skills?
I think that's here.
Okay, all right.
So, improvement, I find improvement to be sort of a very general, like, well, what is improvement? But if we're maintaining a daily log with times of events on a planner to be shared each Friday with the chair and admin, organizing topics by presenting facts, questions, needs, and outcomes concisely.
Okay.
I think we make it observable, measurable,
Measurable.
goal-oriented. And then we'll review all of this, the action plan, in one of our August meetings.
Sounds good.
Sound okay?
Yep.
All right. So Teresa, I'll get you these edits later. I'll do it.
take your time.
And then let's have one copy that we all sign.
Sure.
After it's edited,
Yeah.
she can call us and we can stop in.
Okay. Perfect. All right. Gil, good with that?
Yeah.
Thank you for your service to the town.
Thank you.
All right. Moving on.
Let me stop and back up the top of the list.
Whew. Let's just go down. Waste Zero contract. I've already looked at it.
Yeah, I got this email from you.
Yeah. You can check that out. I think so essentially, Waste Zero had
Every year.
Waste Zero forwarded the email in March to the town administrator. It sort of fell by the wayside. It never made it to us, and here we are with a need to address this immediately. Waste Zero manufactures and supplies the bags for the transfer station. And what this includes is a price increase.
I was gonna say, what are we paying now?
I meant to ask you this. So
I believe there's an invoice in the transfer station patch. I believe. If not, I can pull one off.
There probably is.
do you want to?
Is this
It
one?
might be more easy.
Is this bags?
Yeah, that.
This
Yes.
is bags. And does our increase it? What we increased it cover the cost? We increased it like 6 months ago.
That was more than
I was
6
gonna
months
say
ago.
it hasn't been increased since I've been here.
No?
No.
Then maybe it's a year ago then.
It's, I mean, it's all, the price has only been increased once since 2014. We went from 10 to 11.
To $11, so that might have been.
That's
more
the
than 12
current
months ago
invoice.
then.
Yeah, I think it was like a year and a half ago. Almost 2 years, I know,
Long
well,
ago.
it's like a black hole.
All right, so I guess the question would be, that doesn't mean that we
The
don't.
large ones are 8804,
Okay,
and the small ones are 9254. So we're looking at this is per case.
right. And here's the per case fees now. So, so large is what? What's the new price on large?
9068. Yeah.
No, this is the new one. Oh, the old price.
8804.
I'm doing it backwards. But that's okay. Let's see what happens.
We don't know how many are in
So it's gone up like $3
a case, though.
a case.
I mean, there really is no other company. That's why we initially
That's right.
went with Waste Zero. There is no other company that handles all of the billing to the stores, the manufacturing, and it's like one-stop shopping. There
Right.
is no other company that does
So
that.
what we need to do is with the new price, look at whether or not we need to increase it, maybe another $1. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Once we're gonna have to do this. They're the only ones that do it.
Oh, yeah.
And we have a rainbow
June
of colors
agenda?
of bags now. So, I think then we just have to look at it.
So establish new bag price.
Yep.
So
Yep.
Teresa, can you provide us, so this is per case,
Yes.
but how does that transfer
I have
to?
the contract for them.
And they're not gonna change us, hopefully they're not gonna charge us the increase back to February 1st. Because that's when the contract started. That would be my question,
I don't know.
you know? They're not gonna backdate it. Okay. New price.
Let's see. Actually, maybe I don't have the original one. It's written on the original contract.
That you just read off of there, the small were, no, the large were 88 something, I'm sorry.
Large 8804, small 9254. One pass that to Teresa. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't have it. How many are in a case?
So can we get that info for the
Yeah, I have it
meeting?
in the office.
And that way we can just have a
We'll
more
probably
robust
just go, right, we can
conversation.
probably just sign the contract, or we can at least sign the contract, but, yeah, we can just look at, to make sure that we're charging enough to cover the cost.
So today we'll vote on that contract
Mm-hmm.
going to the town administrator,
Yep.
and then in June we can discuss the price
Pricing,
changes.
right.
Mm-hmm. Okay, great.
So I'm going to make a motion that we enter into the contract with, Waste Zero and forward it to the town administrator to be signed.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. All right. Then we have the Flowbird contract. The Flowbird contract is a new situation related to the kiosk at the transfer station.
Very thick.
It is
Software?
it's 44 pages, and
Kiosk.
I went through it, and it's a lot.
Did it make your eyes bustle?
A little bit.
Oh, this is new software that they're putting
Oh,
into
yes,
there?
thank you.
So this is
No.
basically a service contract. What do you need, Kevin?
I didn't know if she needed that back.
So, correct me, Teresa, but this is a new service contract for the kiosk, and essentially, as I understand it from reading through it, it's going to replace whatever we have in place right now, and it will require a level 1 trained person who is affiliated with us, internal person who will know the basics of how to fix that machine.
Yes.
And the idea is that they'll order parts if they need to. They will service the kiosk. And if they if they cannot, we will then have access to like the level 2 folks who are a call-in technical support.
And we pay for them.
A call-in technical support system. So this is going to cost us, I think it's $57 per machine per month.
We have one.
We have one machine. So previously, the original contract that we had for the kiosk,
Yep.
They would come out twice a year in February and August and go over the machine with a fine-tooth comb, make sure everything was working properly.
Right.
And that was what the contract was. We never had to do anything except like replace the
Paper.
The paper.
Yeah, because they did come out with the training for that.
Yeah, it's a totally that company was sold.
Oh, okay.
So Parkion. So now it's strictly Flowbird, and everything's going to have to be done internally
Okay.
by whomever.
So, were we paying for any of that before? So this 57.
So it was like a one-time fee annually.
And how much was that?
I want to say it was like $600, but
Can you do the math on that? 57 times 12. My brain wasn't.
Yeah, this is.
trying to think even when it up.
That's all legal.
It's about the same.
So,
A lot of legal.
can I say something on that?
Hang on, but can we just like,
Give
let's
the
just
answer.
shore up the answer here?
I'm trying to log into. Can't even find the company. I know I looked it up originally when you and I talked about this. You might want to listen to what he has to say while I try to look it up, because I'm not sure.
Gil, do you want to ask your question? Go ahead.
No, the situation. So, Pacquion, Westcore, yeah, there you go.
It was, let me see, March till February 2021. The cost of this agreement will be $784 to be paid in the amount of $392 per visit, and they visited twice a year.
Okay, so it was
$784.
So this is actually financially better for us?
We're
Except
paying
for parts.
$57 a month?
Well, and we have to do the work. They're not going to do. They're not doing it. That was for them. They physically came, went through the machine to make sure everything was functioning properly.
Convenient.
Yeah.
It's a little bit less, but we are taking on the responsibility. We've had somebody trained to. Right. But the guy that came out was very, very good with the training. So they would have to provide training to more than one person.
Yes, I agree. It doesn't sound like we have a choice, and we need to have a service contract. We need to have a way to fix the machine.
These loyal people, and they like the kiosk. Yeah.
Okay, so I did put a note who would do this, and I think that I agree. I think we need 2 people because
Minimum.
For example, if Chris were on vacation, we need a backup.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So I did mention this, and there is a willingness from. I gave him this is something that's being discussed.
Right.
What are your thoughts on it? And he's open and willing to be trained. In fact, I think he feels sort of excited about it because he likes the tech stuff.
Oh yeah, he likes to take things apart. So.
But who else?
Who's the person?
Chris.
Well, that's what I was gonna add to this. Chris is definitely trained on it. Flowbird, we had an incident a few months ago. We didn't know they took over. We had to research things. And the card reader was operating improperly. And they had a problem with the card reader. So in going back and forth with them, Chris is well versed on the machine. We talked to Flowbird. They will send the parts out and explain to people how to replace the parts. They did send a card reader out. They had a technician in Texas, and we didn't know what was going on with Flowbird, so the guy flew in from Texas with a used card reader when he came in, and he took it apart and showed, Chris wasn't in that day, showed me how to replace the card reader. And we do have a new card reader in the office. And they're very good about it. You know, they'll send the parts out. It's fairly simple. Chris is well versed on, you know, the program and how it works. And yeah, it would be nice for somebody else. Because we have had issues through the years, you know, we had ants get in it. But this Flowbird is very do-it-yourself customer oriented.
Right, so there's a training that Chris would have to go through and preferably someone else. Is that?
How many people?
No, the software is pretty general. It's still the same as before.
There's a training though.
If there's a training, I'm wondering how many people can do the training. Do they have a limit? Can we do 2? Could we do 3?
Let's see, how many issues have we really had? The likely person would be John, but I think John is, excuse me. Yeah, we've got a, yeah.
I guess I'm asking, are you willing to be trained so that if Chris is on vacation, you would be able to service the kiosk?
Yeah, Chris does have, it's all on video.
I was just going to say, it would be a good idea to
do the video.
videotape.
Which is
the
what we did with the first one.
Yes.
Videotape
the
was
training.
My question. Can we have more than one person? Do they have a number of people that would train?
I didn't see that in there, but that.
If we could,
and then
I have no problem going to
so
it
that,
and videotaping it.
Right.
That's what I did the first time. I still have that video, which I can dump now, for the training. Yeah. So if they don't have a limit, then I would do the training as well and make sure that we videotape it so we can go back and.
Can we find that out?
Yes. I will email him tomorrow.
Okay.
I can't imagine that they wouldn't allow more than one person to be trained.
Right.
Yeah, I can't either. But let's confirm, and then we.
Especially if it's done at the same time.
Yeah.
We can organize for the 3 of you.
Yep.
To be trained. All right. Are you guys in favor?
Who's the third person?
Sounds good.
Oh, okay.
You're good with that?
I'm good.
All right. Do we need a vote on that? No.
Yes, because it's a contract.
Yeah, for this we
Right.
do.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Somebody want to?
I'll make a motion that we enter into a contract with Flowbird for the kiosk at the transfer station.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, moving on, the set table scrap container price and compost bin price.
Okay, so right now, we have compost bins that we're charging $25 for.
Okay.
Per Claire, that price can be increased to $35.
Oh, okay, I was gonna say,
So, thank you.
there was new.
Hold on, I want to make sure this.
There was new regulations that came out last week. I didn't bring them for the RDP. All new stuff came out, so I was hoping we could bring that price up.
So we need to compost bin, if you want to increase the price, and also I ordered the kitchen scrap bucket.
Yes.
These are the invoices with the prices. So the
Tabletop?
the compost bins, we can't go above 35, so it's kind of
No.
irrelevant. What the scrap buckets, we purchased them for $8.61 each. So I don't know what you guys want to sell them for.
10, or do we, because we can use RDP money to pay for them.
Yes, I've already paid the invoice. I paid it.
Right.
And these that you just, if you
What
want to
do
look
we
at them.
pay for the compost bins?
I used the grant money.
But what do we pay?
Oh, they are
I'm sorry. The
50 or
compost
60.
bins are, so they're $50.96 each, but we also had to pay for the liftgate delivery service, which was $80. So it comes out to like $52.96 each if you add both of those together.
So we don't make
No,
all of
but
it.
RDP, that's
We make a
RDP
fee.
money.
Correct.
So
Comes
that's
out of
Right,
RDP
here,
money.
if you guys wanna look at that,
So I'm thinking with the scrap bins to pay for, even though if they made the extra $80, that comes out of RDP money.
the whole thing is paid for out of RDP.
RDP.
Yes, you guys
Right.
just signed the invoice.
I just said 10 because it's easy. You
That's
don't
what
wanna
I was
use
thinking,
this
I was thinking
kiosk
10
with
too. I
pennies.
mean, they're good size.
10. Okay.
I'm just throwing it out there.
And,
What I'd be willing to pay.
and what do you wanna do about the compost bins? Do you wanna increase the price? And if so, for effective when?
Okay. They're 25 now.
Correct.
Do we wanna go up to 30?
35, oh, 35 is
No,
the
no.
maximum. Yeah.
35
Sorry,
is
I
the max,
misunderstood
but I'm
you. Yeah.
saying, we still want people to use them. And if we jump up, then that might kick some people out. It's taken a while for people to really catch on.
I agree.
And now there's a big push to get food out of the waste stream. So I don't wanna price people out of the market, so
I agree.
I think 30 would be good. Because we still have a lot of interest and it should be,
Where do we leave it alone?
We could do that.
where do we what?
Or we could leave it alone.
Oh,
Leave it at 25.
it's not costing us any money.
Well, it is.
We have to work to get those
Indirectly.
RDP points.
But RDP money is still taxable.
It,
If we really bring it down.
so you're wondering what we just said?
Yeah, because you started talking and then, well, wait, do we have to
Okay,
do,
so-
so now I'm like, do
So
I
the
delete
question
or?
was $10 for the smaller table scrap, and then the question is, do we leave the other buckets where they are at 25, or do we go up to 30? That was the last question that was asked, and we didn't get that one answered yet. You had that deer in the headlights look.
Yeah.
So, do we want to just leave it at that?
I'm in favor of leaving it at 25.
Okay.
Fine with me.
Okay,
Okay,
so I
that's
just
fine.
need a motion for the kitchen scrap buckets then.
Okay. I'll make a motion that we charge $10 for our new tabletop scratch containers.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Effective?
They don't have them for sale yet.
We
Right.
have them. We just haven't, we couldn't do anything until the price was set.
Why not immediately?
Today.
You can.
Effective immediately.
It's starting today, May 16th.
Otherwise, we don't have a price.
This is true.
Okay.
We can't sell
For
them.
days.
And have they been added to the kiosk?
So
No,
that,
you can't pay those with the kiosk.
They come in here and get a letter?
Yes.
they have to. We can't. Is
No.
there a reason?
She's always done it that way because we didn't have the kiosk when we started.
Well,
Yeah, and
but
then
that doesn't mean-
but then if somebody goes in to buy one and we're sold out of them, or, do you know what I mean?
This way they keep track of how many are actually in there.
Yeah,
Low,
I
and
mean,
they contact.
Chris is supposed to let me know when we get down to 3.
Yeah, he's really pushing to have them put on the kiosk with like a little warning, like check for inventory before you pay.
Yeah, but people are not gonna do that.
I mean,
And I don't
if somebody
really
buys
do that.
one and we don't have any,
That's not,
then we need to do a warrant and have them, and it'll take like 3 weeks to a month for them to get paid, and
Okay.
yeah.
I'll let him know.
Yeah.
Unless anybody.
I understand why that would be easier.
It would be easier.
Much easier, I
If you send
agree.
people on there on their own, what's to stop them from taking two, paying for one and taking two?
Well, Chris gets them. Chris doesn't let people have access to the inventory. No. I didn't have access. I went up there and I paid, and he got it for me and brought it to me.
Yeah.
Next is the Betterment Loan Program.
Okay, so just super quick, we're out of money for the betterment loan.
Which is what happens every 3 years.
Right, so we borrowed this money May 1st, 2017. It was an article, town meeting, so we do need to do an article for October town meeting. I found a copy of the article on the town clerk's website, so we can just punch in.
Is this another 200,000?
So we borrowed 500,000 the last time,
Okay.
but we broke it down into the first time we pulled 200,000 and then we pulled 300,000.
Okay.
So, one, do you guys want to move forward with the betterment program? Everything, the easiest thing to do would be to leave everything as is, so the interest rate is 5%.
Do you know about the betterment program?
Teresa's explained it to
Okay.
me.
The interest rate is 5%. It's paid out over 20 years through your taxes. There is an early prepayment penalty to try to get flippers from not using the program. And that's $1,500, $1,000, or $500 if you pay off within the first 3 years. There's a $275 application fee, which is also because we've had people.
How much?
$275, because we had people signing up and everybody's doing the work and then they pulled out, and we've already done all the work,
And we
so-
still have to pay the people for doing the work.
Yep.
Right. So, if you guys are still interested, this is all the paperwork on it. Nothing, if everything stays the same, it's a lot easier to re-implement, but again, it would have to go to October town meeting for the town to,
And do we have to vote now to
no,
just go?
no, but this way we can get it rolling. So, Jeannie Sullivan is out at the moment, so, but she plays a big part in it.
I know.
Is this an application process?
It is an application process. So they, usually they go through our office and then I give them the information for Old Colony Planning Council. They do all the paperwork with Old Colony Planning Council. They submit the application fee to me, and then I track it, on a spreadsheet, and I work with Old Colony Planning Council as well as the treasurer collector, and, to make sure the checks and balances of everything.
So I guess I'm curious, the application process, does this make this program need-based, meaning?
So the system has to be failed. It has to be, we have to have, on file a failed Title V or a letter from an engineer stating that the system is failed. You have to be failed. It's not based on credit. It's not based on who can and can't afford it.
And not income.
Right. It's not income based. It's just if your system is failed.
The thing is, you're gonna come to the town to spend money, to ask for money to fix your system if you can afford that 50 grand or that 20
That's
grand.
what I mean.
No, but anybody, it's available to anybody. You just have to have a failed system.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can't live in the house with a failed
Mhm.
system.
And I've already had 2 to 3 people call, and I've had to tell them we don't have any.
We,
Okay.
lost
I guess that's
10
why I
people on the
asked.
list.
Yeah, because people, so there's one person, a woman, she's a widow, and she has to take money out of her 401k to pay for her septic because her septic is like $50,000.
I guess that's why I asked, is it
When
need-based?
she said
Well,
need-based, I thought you were talking income.
Yeah,
I am.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
but it's not,
It's not.
we don't ask them what their income is. If their system has failed, they qualify, and they're a Hanson resident, they qualify.
So, and we have a limited bucket of money.
We have, yeah, so
Yeah.
so it's 2023. We borrowed this money. It went to May 2017 town meeting. We're just running out of money. The last few septic systems are currently being
It's like 5
installed.
years, so not a short amount of time that we're.
I guess I'm just curious how.
But I don't see, if somebody had $50,000 to spend, why would they come to us?
That's my point. It's like, it's hard for me to imagine if the money is, if there's a limited bucket of money and it's not a need-based program, then you could have somebody who has a failed septic and has not a penny to their name to be able to fix it, and there's no money in the program because somebody who is more than capable of affording it. I find it to be kind of a bizarre.
Yeah, people that can afford it don't want to do our paperwork. They don't want to talk to accountant. Yeah, they don't want to be bothered.
I find that to be interesting.
And we don't have anybody that can verify somebody's
Income.
Yeah, financial status.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm not for it. I'm just finding.
No, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, but it's also, well, now it's not really that applicable, but 5% interest was not really a good deal.
No.
Some
it
people
didn't
can't
used to
get
be.
Some people can't get a loan. Now 5% is a pretty good deal. Hopefully
It
it doesn't
is.
stay that way because interest rates are so crazy right now.
How do we know that?
Because I've looked at interest rates.
No. I know that. How do we know that the interest rate is going to remain 5%?
It's a five, we signed a contract.
Yeah, because I spoke to Sean Bailey and I asked him via email if everything is status quo. And he said if everything is status quo, we can just move it just town meeting has to
Yeah.
approve it, and we'll go from there.
Once we borrow the money, they can't change hands.
I'm just asking because I have not had any
Mhm.
involvement with this, and I
Yeah.
want to make sure I understand what I'm supporting or
Yeah.
not.
It helps a lot of people. It really does. It helps a lot of people.
Yeah, I guess I'm
Yeah.
just saying, I hope it's
Have
helpful.
we ever had anybody
It-
involved?
Yes. Well, so now they, put a lien on the property, so if they sell the house, we
Yeah.
get our money.
And we had one guy that gave us such a hard time, and I think he finally never did borrow the money.
Yeah, well,
He was in screaming and yelling and hollering, mostly downstairs, often.
So we move this forward, and Gil, you're gonna get this ready for
That
October?
was when, we don't need to vote on,
We would vote on the article, right?
On the article.
okay.
I just wanna make sure you guys are interested in it before.
I think we should continue.
Well, when was it started? It started back in the early nineties?
Yeah, I think it's
Time.
Probably,
good for certain people.
That's where I'm at.
for those that need it.
We have no mechanism to make
It used to be at 0% interest,
Mm.
paid out over 10 or 20 years.
Oh my gosh.
But, I mean, having an application fee keeps the tire kickers away, so if someone's serious.
Right.
I mean,
You
it
don't
doesn't
waste
matter
your
what
money.
the fee is, if they have to put up their own
Mhm.
money, they're serious.
You're not
And
gonna
then-
waste your money.
And then what you have is some people from abusing the system, that they have these early payment penalties. You know, someone that were to apply for it to go remodel a house, and now all of a sudden they borrowed a quick loan of 50 grand, and they, you know, but that's a penalty that they'd have to pay.
Mhm.
I mean, you could, but on the flip side of it, that you might have someone that is trying to sell their home that they've been in, or they inherited mom's home, and they can't pay to do that, and maybe they go through the loan process. I don't know. There
Usually
are
pe-
certain installers that will just get paid out of closing.
Yes, that's usually how it works.
Right, but with this, you have to pay, you can't you'd have to prepay if you're selling the house. Because there's gonna be a lien on the house, so you'd have to.
Yeah, I
pay a
think this
penalty.
is probably too long of a process for someone to do that's just selling a house, is
Yes.
just my opinion, but.
Yep.
I think overall, it's probably a good program. It's, you know, it's good for certain people that it's available and it's there.
Mhm.
And it, you know, and it does protect the public health too. It's not just a property
Always had a waiting list.
benefit itself. You know.
Teresa?
Had it for a lot of years.
We've always had a waiting list,
Very
right?
important program.
Yeah, no, I'm
It
not
was
saying I'm against it. I'm
slow.
just
Excuse me.
usually.
Kind of slow for a while, but now it's gonna be a while before we get the money. So,
If we do it in October, we probably will get the money in like December or January.
probably January, February.
Can you just send me a copy of it? An emailed copy of that?
Yeah, I'll send you everything.
That'd be great,
Yeah,
just so I have it.
Yeah,
Sure.
Sure.
All right, fabulous. Title V submittal fee, next up.
Okay, so I was speaking to a Title V inspector, and he was, just,
Excuse for a few minutes.
well, I don't know, I can't really excuse you, but yeah. He was discussing fees. I have so many papers here, I can't keep straight. Townwide fees for, submitting of Title V's. And he gave me a list, which I printed out, and now I can't.
It's there, keep looking.
I know it's there.
So it's not an application fee, it's basically a filing fee. with the
Right,
Board of
a
Health.
filing fee. So generally, I don't know why, but I don't think Title V inspectors give copies of the Title V's to their clients, because people are always calling us saying, can I have a copy of this Title V, and can you scan it to me? Can you mail it to me? Can you do this? Can you do that? And I'm like, okay. So it's a lot of extra work for the office, and we don't charge any fees for it. They just submit them, and I have no idea what happened to it.
That's right.
I did have it here. So I'm gonna print it again. Hold on.
One time, slowly.
We had a lot of paper at this meeting.
Okay, yeah,
I know.
yeah,
I had it. I don't know what happened.
That's yours.
That's me, yeah.
Is it in front of the computer with the way zero stuff?
No. I'll just print a new one real quick. I think I did send it to you guys. There's a variety of different prices that towns charge. Some, 10, some 50. But I think it's a good Idea for extra funding.
Well, I mean, it really covers our costs too, because it might not sound like much, but, you know, it does add more work to your responsibility or Gil's responsibility, or, you know, taking time to scan something in if it's gonna be electronic, or filing in a cabinet. Now the cabinet's getting bigger and the folders, you know, it does add expense, so.
Yeah. I don't know what happened to it. It's replaced. Okay, I have it. Somebody's printing now, so. So I'll read it off while it's printing. Abington has no fee. Avon is 35. Bourne is 40. Bridgewater is 20. Carver's 35. Duxbury's 35. East Bridgewater is 25. Easton is $30.50, which I don't really get. Falmouth is 40. Freetown is 50. Halifax, Hanover have no fee. Kingston is 25. Lakeville 50. Marshfield no fee. Middleborough is 50. Norwell no fee. Pembroke 10. Plymouth is 75. Plimpton is $2.75, but includes a water analysis. Raynham and Rochester are both 25, as is Stoughton. Rockland, Sandwich, and Situate have no fee. Wareham is 75, West Bridgewater is 25, and Whitman has no fee.
Some of those towns have no fee, I think, because they're on sewer.
I was just gonna say, I know, Whitman doesn't, I mean, I think they have some,
Whitman
but
has town sewer.
not a lot.
Right. Not a lot of town sewer, or not a lot of septic.
I don't see it.
I have no problem with implementing a small, you know, small fee, maybe somewhere in the neighborhood of 25. Just a, you know, it's really a filing fee and just kind of covering our costs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that way she can keep a copy.
That's
Or
about the average too.
for that, would we then send one automatically to the homeowner?
Well, that would really be on the responsibility of, you know, the
Would it
person
have
that's
that
doing
person?
the inspection, that they give the, you know, but that way we do have one on copy. We're not gonna, I don't think we need to do anything different on our end of it. It's really, we're not there to dispute it, we're not there to fact check it, we're there to take it, file it, keep it on file here.
If somebody asked for it.
But I think it's just something that's been overlooked for a long time, but, I mean, I think anything else in this building is
Founding.
filed.
It was behind this. I knew I had it. It's just.
I'm surprised that people pay all that kind of money for Title V and that they don't get a copy.
I know.
I
I thought the same thing.
I
would
think
say
in a lot of cases, what happens is the real estate agent in a home sale will kind of facilitate scheduling that, and then they end up with it, and it never makes it to the actual, you know,
I would
customer or
want
the
something
homeowner.
for my money.
But I think at the end of the day, all they care is to hear the words that passed, you know, or something like that.
That's
But,
true.
I don't think a lot of people even know what a report looks like or what it says in there, but they just know the words that passed or failed.
Yeah.
You know, so. I'll make a motion to set a $25 filing fee for Title V inspection reports when they're submitted. It's $25 per report,
I'll second.
Can we make that effective July 1st?
effective July 1st.
Second that.
All in favor? Right.
Thank you.
Great. So next is the color printer copier, which is something that.
Yours dying?
It died.
Mine did too.
Which can I just finish? So, which is something that came up this week, relative to our office and us no longer having a working color printer copier scanner. Teresa and Steve Moberg had a conversation via email. There's some pushback related to each office having its own printer, copier, scanner, and so I called Steve myself and had a conversation with him late last week or early this week. I don't even know what day I'm on. And essentially his feedback to me was that he wants to move towards each floor, so
Doing it central.
so that each floor having its own sort of industrial enterprise printer copier scanner that will be in the hallway, He wants to limit, I'm just reiterating what he said.
Right.
He wants to limit the number of printers, et cetera, on the network. He wants to
Makes sense.
He wants to streamline the toner. He believes this will cut down on the overall cost to taxpayers relative to printers, copiers, scanners that he believes are not up to par and need to sort of continuously be fixed. He had particular concerns about any inkjet printers because they go through ink quite rapidly,
Yes,
and they sure do. And he has assured me that the hallway copiers, printers, scanners are coming within 2 to 3 weeks, and everybody will be hooked up and ready to rock. Teresa and I have spoken, and she had some opposition to this plan and has some valid reasons why she thinks we need to have one in the Board of Health office.
So I think there's several reasons. One being we have a lot of confidential information that both he and I print, and we can't be printing it down the hall. There are 9 people on this floor, and to have 9 people printing at various times, you're going to be printing things on multiple occasions, because if everybody is printing at different times or at the same time, and right, and then if you get a phone call and you don't come pick it up, what happened to it? You have to print it again, and we just can't print confidential information, and some of it needs to be in color to a copier that's shared by the whole floor. That's the basic gist of it. I'm not asking anybody else to pay for it. We have plenty of money in our budget to pay for it, but we need to have our own equipment in the Board of Health office. We're not like every other office. I don't believe every office deals with confidential information, but we do on a daily basis.
Did he talk to anybody about this previous to making the plan?
I hadn't heard a word.
I had heard that he is not going to allow anybody to hook up to his network without his approval. And I don't believe that another department should have a say over what equipment we have in our office, or any other office for that matter, because it's our budget. And I think that
he's paying for the network is the issue.
But I think that we pay
having everything on.
But I think we're very responsible with our budget. As he says all the time, I'm super cheap. Well, that's because we only have so much money to go around. Yes.
Yeah, I can't say I've ever really heard you stress that I need something, and I think if you need it for your job function and to make things work better, I have no problem with it.
But we're gonna have to fight with him.
So that's it.
Where we're at.
So I asked Teresa to go over the budget, what we have, and we certainly have the money.
Yeah, it's not the budget, but
well, I just wanted to.
He did something, and everybody got kicked off the network, and he didn't give them the password to get in.
Oh, for our meeting a few meetings ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, I think the issue that I have is, or the concern I have, is that we could vote on this here tonight to purchase the new printer, but it needs to be hooked up, and we don't have any control.
Do we need to go to the town administrator and say, we feel like we're paying for this product, we need it, and we need it to be hooked up to the network?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I don't know if I'm going to really sit here and let the IT guy dictate how we run the business.
But when he came in, he just cut off everything.
Yeah, so I have no problem with approving purchasing the printer, and if they want to have a conversation with it, then so be it.
Yeah. Do you want to talk to the town manager?
Yeah, I think that's the next. If we vote to purchase this for our office, then the conversation needs to include Steve and Lisa Green.
Or if they want to make a recommendation of a certain printer they'd like to see us purchase that we can review. I have no problem with that either, but I think...
I found one that has 4.9 stars out of 5.
Right. No, I'm just saying as far as...
And it's a laser, it's not an inkjet,
so
it's a laser.
Printer, okay, yeah, that's fine. And I agree, I think a laser printer is the way to go, but, if they want to have a conversation or review what our purchase plans to be, granted that the board wants to buy one, but
Well, we would never ask what our needs are.
Because we have to buy our own.
Each office has their own needs. Our office is not the same as building or planning or any of the other offices in this building. We were never asked.
My concern is why wasn't there a conversation with departments about, as you move forward, as the machines die and stuff, this is what the plan is gonna be.
And there's
There
no
should
written
be a plan.
policy.
Well, there should be a plan and a policy. You can't just say, oh, that broke, too bad, you can't get another one.
With that being said, even if there were, I mean, we have confidential information. He has confidential maps that he has to print.
no, I understand what they're trying to do.
You
They're trying
definitely
to
can't
be-
print it down there,
No.
They're trying to be cost effective and have
Yeah.
centralized, but it makes sense, but I think additionally from that, and you can selectively use it for certain items that you wanna use it for. If it's stuff that just anyone can use, or it's a big document you need to print, and just you wanna print it down here.
And that's what we do now.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And the toner and all of that, or whatever cartridge
Shield.
replacements, that comes out of our budget too.
Correct.
One in our office, yeah.
Yeah, the one in our office, yes.
You know, for selective confidential items, or, you know, things that need to be handled within that office. I have no problem with that, and I think it's business as usual, but if they have an issue with it, then I guess we can have that conversation.
I'll have to see what you're getting, because I'm
happy to have a
Get new one,
conversation.
too.
It's
Have
hard,
a vote? Yes, sir?
it's hard sometimes, because you print something on a printer down here, the phone rings, it prints, and you're 3 to 5 minutes away from getting it. And sometimes it's something that you need immediately after you print. The phone will ring, you get distracted. And like I say, we do, some things we print, you know, act for other people's eyes. I can't stress that fact enough, because the privacy of people is so important nowadays. And if something leaks out, it's more consequence.
And I think as long as you're selective about it, if it's something that is public that can be printed over here, then print it over
Yeah,
here,
we do
but if
that.
it's something
Well,
that needs
yeah, I
to be.
mean, because these printers out here, they're great, and we don't pay for the toner.
Right.
So,
That's another reason she would send you down the hall.
right,
She said, I'm printing this, go get it.
so,
Well, not even
but
that.
just
if
for
it's something-
examples, like, I just tried to print something for the meeting quick to give you guys, and I couldn't
there's-
because somebody else is printing.
But if somebody else has printed 20 copies of something, then you're in queue. And you don't get it until whatever was ahead of you is done.
Or scanning something as well.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
that's- I have no problem.
Take a vote.
So I'm gonna vote that we go,
You're gonna make a motion?
I'm gonna make a motion that we authorize the purchase of a new printer for the office.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor? All right.
Thank you.
All right. Should we revisit this 991 Monpont Street?
Yeah, I don't know why he didn't show up. He told me he was gonna be here. I mean, no, that was a butter notification, and he did give me the green cards and everything that we needed. He said he was gonna be here.
Do we need him here to talk about it?
No, but I always like to have them here, because if there's a question, that's gonna be held over to the next meeting.
All right, maybe he didn't think there's some good questions.
They're looking for reduced setbacks, I believe. Yeah, the lot is 30 by 157 feet. And, you know, they're looking for a 5-foot setback on the left-hand side of the leaching field and a 3-foot sideline setback on the right side. They're looking for a 3-foot setback from their own shed. And it looks like they're maintaining a 21-foot setback off the existing dwelling for the leaching field, and they're maintaining a 10-foot separation, 10-foot setback, I'm sorry, for the septic tank from their existing foundation. Yeah, so they're looking for setback variances, it looks like. And that was for 991 Montpont Street.
This is 991, what is this talk about the floodplain? The engineer's talking about here.
So this plan, I think it was notes on the plan,
Yeah, look at the-
where these were comments. It was asking, is it in a floodplain district or a zone 2?
Okay,
Locust does not lie within a zone 2 well protection area. That note looks
So
like it was
now-
probably added because they're number 12 and 13 reference floodplain in zone 2. And then Locust lies in a zone X floodplain, I guess. So those two notes, and then show finished grade line on the profile. So you got finished grade, 98.8 roughly. It looks like there's the revisions here, 4/24/23. This review was done 4/17/23.
okay.
Those were it looks like the review
It's
comments were
revised.
addressed.
It's the revised
Looks like
plan.
So this is all set to go for.
Unusual for her.
So it wouldn't be on the agenda if it
Well,
wasn't all
no,
set.
You guys have any questions?
Oh,
And I-
no, no.
It's a tight property. It's a 30-foot wide lot. I mean, it is what it is.
Right.
Right.
I mean,
What's
it's a
the
repair.
variance they're asking
It's a
for?
repair. They have an existing cesspool that I'm assuming's failed. They're looking for setback variances on the leaching field from their shed and also from the abutting properties to the left and right.
And you said you got the green cards back.
The green cards are on the back. It was
Yeah.
the very
Okay.
last
All right.
page, and the green
So
cards
all
were
the
stapled
abutters
to it.
are-
So we got them all back.
Yep.
So everyone had a chance to be here. If they had a concern, they could express it.
It was in the very back of the
They were in there.
package.
Okay.
They're gone now.
It might be in
Okay,
here.
so all the abutters are notified. No one is
No one showed up.
currently here. So I'll make a motion to approve the plan with revisions as specified in the review for 991 Monpont Street.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Right. Oh, there they are.
Okay.
Oh, you know what, yeah.
Looking for that packet. You were hiding it. Great. And then, does anyone have any ongoing project updates that are of concern today?
No, I'm good.
May I have the clip for this, please?
He wants her clips back.
Thank you. Thank you.
Check on the copies. No, I think the only thing is I'm gonna be going to an emergency, I'm gonna be going to a training, but it's in June. It's the Mass Department of Public Health, and emergency training is starting to focus now on training people in using the medical reserve corps more for sheltering and for things going on. And so they're having a first training that they're doing in the state, in June in Worcester. And I was invited to go with, 2 other people from, medical reserve and, Duxbury. So I will be attending that and let you know when I come back what the focus is gonna be.
Great.
I would like for us to start building, volunteers in Hanson.
Mhm.
During the pandemic, we got lots of responses from people that were interested.
Mhm.
And I think now is a good time to start training people, because if we had to open a shelter or we had to dispense medication, if we get them in and we get them into medical, they do everything. They'll do all the queries, they'll do all the credentialing, all of that,
Okay.
ahead of time for us. I think it's a good time to start working on that.
Is that something we would interface with police and fire?
Yes, eventually, yes. Eventually, yes.
Okay. Okay. Great. So
More so
you'll,
with fire.
okay.
More so with fire.
So you'll keep us
I will.
posted on that and
Let
then,
you know. Yep.
okay. And you have nothing on Kawani?
I had sent an email to Frank the other day, just regarding just very thorough, just walking through the process of what's supposed to happen.
Mhm.
Teresa, did you hear anything back on that?
Do you still get your spreadsheets?
I do.
Okay.
But no, I'll follow up with him again just to make sure. But I CC'd Teresa on it too.
Mhm.
But I sent a pretty thorough email just walking through, and I went through the whole process myself just so I could understand it from someone else's perspective. And I mean, it doesn't really seem like it needs improvement. It seems pretty thorough. It's just a matter of getting the information out and stressing to the
Yeah.
customers that, you know,
What you need back?
you need to do this or else this may be held up or postponed or, just so they understand the severity of it, that they need to make sure it happens.
Does the packet have a checklist?
Yeah, yeah, I mean, there's like 7 items, I mean, for the caterer that it's, 4 or 5 of which they should have on hand. I mean, it's something they could just have in a PDF, just ready to eat.
You're talking about the caterer, but I'm talking about the applicant, the person who gets it. Do they have a list saying I have to do this, 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 and return it? That was what I was sort of asking about, not the caterer.
As far as their overall application for being at Kiwanee, I
Yeah.
haven't completely gone through that. I don't know
Okay.
about that, but I'm just saying as far as the catering portion
That
of it that we're
portion of it.
concerned with, that,
Yeah.
like I said, I'm used to it just because of like getting building permits, electrical permits, those type of things, that it's, you need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 things.
Right.
And very similar to that, I have 1 through 5 already ready to go. My licenses, my insurance, you know, stuff like that ready to
Right.
go. All I have to do is literally, you know, put in a date, a property address, what I'm doing, and that's it. And this could be very similar for them, that it's all stuff that they should have on hand anyway, probably. You know.
But the problem is it goes to the applicant.
Right. So
Do.
it's, no, right, but it seems like it's a disconnect between them doing that, but also that some people don't want to just do the paperwork aspect of it, I think.
I know that there's a disconnect, but I don't know if they don't feel it's their responsibility once they give the packet to the person, that it's that person's responsibility to call the Board of Health or, to notify the caterer.
Right.
But it's like, is there a checklist that says, okay, 3 months before you have to have this done or that done?
Well,
In the overall packet is what I was asking.
I think that it hasn't really been probably enforced by us, that people aren't doing this in a timely manner, that maybe if that had to happen.
Yeah, we've been pushing back on this for like 2 years.
But, I mean, maybe
I think
it's a matter
that-
of enforcement, and then
Follow through.
people will realize it's serious with the deadlines.
I think it's on the form. I think whatever I looked at, application or what, I think it said that you had to have this information to the
Within
Board of Health
45
3 months
days.
before. Yeah,
45 days.
yeah. I think I read that
Yeah.
somewhere.
Yes.
It does, but that's what I'm saying, that needs to be stressed, and that was kind of the email that I had sent out, just really walking through it, that it's pretty basic with the stuff that you need.
Yeah.
And just that it needs to be in, not at 45 days. It can be in prior to that,
Right.
but no later than 45 days, just that it really just needs to be done.
I think the other thing that came up sort of offline as I was part of a thread on something more recently was that there is no way for the camp itself for Kiwanee to have a blanket permit to have food there. That was the I just wanted to
Yeah,
put
'cause
that out there.
they're not an establishment.
No.
That is not a.
They do have their own food permit, so if they want to do pizza or something. But we had a conversation with them that they were supposed to have people up there be certified in ServSafe, the manager ServSafe, and nobody has done that. So their permit is up for renewal now, and the chair of recreation is well aware that they may not be able to get their permit because they haven't done all of the things that they said they were going to do.
And I did touch on that in my email as well.
Well, I can give them the name of somebody who's a trainer.
Yeah.
Maybe they need to have class.
All right, and the only thing I have on the transfer station is this week we got our official release form to have volunteers at the swap shop from legal. And today I put out a Sign Up Genius onto our local Facebook pages, Hanson pages.
Yep.
Teresa, I'm going to have you blast that out through if you don't mind, through our Board of Health and town pages.
Yeah.
Did you see it on the Facebook?
No, but I haven't really been on it.
Okay, so it's on there.
I think the last time I was on there, I was putting mattress stuff up.
And I can send it to you again if you want,
Okay.
but it's on there. And then we have our meeting this Friday, the 19th, of the Transfer Station Committee, and then on June 2nd is our next meeting for the transfer station committee, and at that one, Todd and Claire are coming to give us a detailed presentation.
Cool.
So, we're not recreating the wheel on
Right.
transfer station operations.
But it's gonna come to me next time. Yeah.
In the middle of my work day, though. Like dead smack in the middle. So that's it. I don't have a chairman's update. I don't have anything beyond that. Agents report.
I didn't really finish my report. I was off yesterday, and today I was going to try to finish it, but I had a situation this morning, and I didn't have a chance to really finish it today, so I will complete it tomorrow and get it out to everybody tomorrow. That's all I can know, so.
May I make a suggestion on that? Why don't we start then this week, Friday at noon, have
Okay.
to Teresa and I.
She's not here on Friday, but.
That's okay, as long as.
Oh, you're saying, you're saying two.
You can still send it to me.
Yeah.
Then I just print on Monday when I come in.
I'm just figuring that's like the end of
Yeah.
the week, more or less. You'll have a
Right.
good idea of how the week went. Okay, sorry, Gil. Go on.
No, that's the thing. I just, I'll
You
finish
saying
it
you do it.
tomorrow, and they'll send it out. And
Okay.
we'll talk Friday, and we'll, get it done on a weekly basis.
So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna have
Moving
a
forward.
daily log. Doesn't have to be a novel.
Yeah.
And
It's not
you're gonna
helpful.
go over,
Locations,
you're gonna
times.
go over it with Teresa and,
Well,
well,
let's see, Friday, or, Tuesday, Thursday, and Monday.
If you had a
just
planner.
an
you
overview.
just
Put the clip
Put it in the
notes.
planner.
What's
Yeah,
going on, what
yes.
happened this week, what I did.
Bullets.
Bullet
Yeah.
points, email to Teresa and I, and then you and I will interface this week and set up
Yep.
a regular touch base time. It probably won't be on Fridays, but
Yeah, just a general, quick thing.
we'll do it
I'm
to
sure
touch
we'll-
base.
Yep.
Okay.
So I, last week, came in and it was a day that, must have been a Thursday, because you leave at 3 on Thursday, right?
Yes.
And for some reason, people downstairs don't know the schedule. But I came up here and it said that somebody would be back at 3. So I went downstairs and I couldn't figure out who was where. And so, you have something to say, go ahead.
No, you can finish your thought.
Oh, no.
And I'll
and
jump in
so
after.
I was just like trying to figure out, does downstairs in the town administrator's office, do they have your schedule so they know when you're
Absolutely.
here? They have it.
Absolutely.
Okay. It's just like, okay, nobody could figure out, and I know what happened with you.
What happened?
She
with me?
found it afterwards.
I filled out a time off request
You did?
on March 27th,
Yes. She did.
and they signed
She
it.
let me know that she found it,
Mhm.
that you were out, but she did
Mhm.
not know.
And I was supposed to leave at 1 that day, and instead I stayed till 3 because one of my
Right.
appointments had been
And so I'm like, okay,
postponed.
if we're sending people upstairs and there's nobody there and they come back down, something, and they should have a better idea of what, She should have known that you were out that day, but the clock up here said 3 o'clock. So I didn't know.
I didn't
Oh, no.
change it. I know when I left.
I mean, that happens sometimes. You just,
Yeah.
you're flying out of here and you forget to change the clock. That
But I
happens
just
to
want to
every
make sure that
office.
they know that on Thursdays you're not here. So they didn't.
Yeah, they have my schedule, my
That's
file.
always been his schedule since he started.
But you
That's
should
when
know.
you pay attention.
I mean, it's pretty basic. I mean,
Yeah.
if someone comes up, you're not there, you try again later, maybe a call. I mean,
But people downstairs are sending them up.
okay.
If they-
Well, I mean, stuff happens. So.
And generally, if I'm not gonna be here,
Check in again
I'm
later.
at the clerk's office, at the treasurer's office, saying, I'm leaving at such and such a time today. They're always aware of where I am.
Okay.
So,
And, for Gil's part, Gil
He's
is
supposed to be
gonna,
gone.
he's not gonna be.
He's not gonna be
so
here, no. No.
he can't.
And he said he meant to put 8 o'clock on the thing and he just forgot.
yeah, I mean, that happens. I forget to do that sometimes too.
I just wanted to know if they knew that they're supposed to have it. That's it. That was my question.
Okay. So, that's it. Next meeting is, June
What,
6th.
third?
June 6th.
June 6th. I will take a motion.
Motion to adjourn?
Wow, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.